Nothing matches the passion, the excitement, the history-making moments of college sports. My goodness! And nobody takes you inside the greatest campuses and stadiums across the country like Sirius XM College Sports Radio. Listen to all of the play-by-play action, expert analysis, and in-depth interviews with your favorite team. No matter the season, we have something for you. Your home for all things college sports is on Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
This
slams the ball to right field, way back, way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second, the throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Last night was one to forget for the Blue Jays as Baltimore jumped on Chris Bassett early and never looked back, en route to a 6-2 win. So the Blue Jays will hope to get back on the winning track today and earn a split of this 4-game series against the Orioles. Welcome, everybody, to the Sportsnet Radio Network. Eric Smith and former Major Leaguer Chris LaRue with you, alongside host and producer Sho Ali and technical director Tom Young. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Kingston and Napanee, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. It's Baltimore and Toronto. The first pitch is right around the corner. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the Showdown.
What's up, insiders? I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to this amazing community. 32,398 insiders in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us every single Toronto sports game. This is the place to be. If you're a Toronto sports fan and there's a game on, we're live right here, hanging out, having a good time together. So, with that being said, make sure you've hit the like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and share this out to everybody you know that is a Toronto sports fan, and let's have some fun during these games. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Jays, go. Go Leafs, go. Go Argos, go. Go TFC, go. Go Toronto, go.
They dive into the biggest storylines and speak to the biggest guests in and out of the ring. What titles will change hands? Who will make a return? Will there be any surprises? No one will get you ready for SummerSlam like Busted Open. Tune in every day from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern on Sirius XM Fight Nation, Channel 156, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Work.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sportsnet Radio Network. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you, getting set for the first pitch between the Orioles and Blue Jays, Game 4 of this 4-game series. And as I mentioned in the intro, the Blue Jays will hope for the split today if they can pick up the win. They lost the opener of the doubleheader a couple of days ago, then won the second game, lost last night. So Baltimore has taken 2 of 3, and the Blue Jays will hope to get the split today. We'll give you the starting lineup for the Blue Jays in just a couple of moments, but first we want to take a look at the standings, brought to you by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Baltimore still a half game up on the Yankees. The Yankees winning in extras last night over Philadelphia. So again, it's Baltimore top the division at 64-44. The Yankees at 64-45. In third, it's the Red Sox. Tampa, actually, the hottest team in the division right now. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're 55-52. And the Blue Jays, after the loss last night, 50-58 at the bottom of the East. But we are about a minute, maybe a minute and a half away from the first pitch. We'll get at least the Blue Jays starting lineup, but maybe more as I throw it over to Chris LaRue.
Well, let's take a quick look at the Blue Jays starting lineup. George Springer is leading off. He'll be in right field. Joey Loperfido is in left field. He'll bat second. Batting third is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll DH. In the cleanup spot is Spencer Horwitz. He'll be at first base. At shortstop is Ernie Clement. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth is Dalton Varsho. He'll play center field. At second base is Davis Schneider. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth is Addison Barger. He'll play third base. And behind the plate, batting ninth, is Brian Servant. On the mound for the Jays is Paulo Espino. He has 0-0 with a 7.71 ERA in 2 games this season. 4 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs. For the Baltimore Orioles, Colton Cowser will lead off and play left field. In right field will be Anthony Santander. He'll bat second. Batting third is Gunnar Henderson. He'll be at short. Cleaning up is Ryan O'Hearn. He'll DH. Batting fifth is Ryan Mountcastle. He'll be at first base. Batting sixth will be Cedric Mullins. He'll be in center field. At third base, batting seventh will be Jordan Westberg. Batting eighth, the #1 prospect in all of baseball, Jackson Holliday. You love that name. He'll play second base. Batting ninth is James McCann. He'll be behind the plate. And starting for the Baltimore Orioles on the mound is 6'5" righty Grayson Rodriguez.
And Rodriguez with a 12-4 record with 122 strikeouts. So clearly it will be a tough day at the office for the Blue Jays, but they will hope to jump on Rodriguez early. And as Chris mentioned, it's the Blue Jay debut of Joey Loperfido, the left-handed bat for the Blue Jays in that #2 spot in this lineup, playing out in left field today. So a lot of people looking forward to seeing Loperfido wearing the #9. Danny Jansen's body's still warm. And Loperfido comes in and says, let me snag that 9. I don't mind it, though.
I'm excited to see Joey Loperfido. Not a bad season so far. He's a true rookie. 236, 2 homers, 16 RBIs for the Houston Astros. But I'm most excited to see Jackson Holliday, just 20 years old, 2 for 34 in his big league career. But like I said, the #1 prospect in all of baseball. He was the first overall pick, and he signed for $8.19 million. You'll take the point.
I can take the point. Just give me the point. I'm happy with the point. If he's going to share, let me get on the horn after the ball game and talk to Jackson Holliday. We are getting set to go. And the first pitch is knocked over to third by George Springer on the ground, picked up by Jordan Westberg over to first to Ryan Mountcastle. And there's very quickly one away, the first pitch coming at 12:37 Eastern time.
And Grayson Rodriguez, like I said, is a big guy, 6'5", 240. He has a very good fastball, 96 to 98 miles an hour. He throws that thing 46% of the time. And then he'll mix in a change, a slider, a curve, and then a little bit of a sinker that he only throws 1% of the time.
So we just talked about Loperfido. Here he is right now, one pitch into the ballgame, and he swings at the first one, fouls it off into the back netting, and a 0-1 count.
What'd you think of that first swing?
I liked it.
All right. That's all that matters. Play-by-play and analyst work. I like it.
Yeah, great analysis there. I liked his swing. Beautiful second swing, too, but he's whiffs at the four-seam fastball from Rodriguez, clocked at 95, and it's an 0-2 count now to Loperfido. Blue Jays in the royal blue with the gray pants today. Baltimore in the home whites. Rodriguez with the high black socks, the delivery, and a strikeout to Loperfido in his first Blue Jay at bat as he's caught looking at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. There's 2 away.
Well, obviously, Loperfido was looking for something soft there, something off speed. Rodriguez just throws that four-seam fastball 96 miles an hour right down Broadway. I'm sure he wants that pitch back.
And there's at least one Blue Jay fan going, oh, the trade was a bust. So Loperfido sits down. It brings up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And to say that he's been hot would be an understatement. Coming into the ball game, batting .312 and now up to 21 home runs and 69 runs batted in. The 1-0 pitch is ripped down fair on the third base side into the left field corner, and Vladdy's going to have yet another double. He has been on an absolute tear, and it just continues here in the top of the first.
I mean, it's a joke at this point. He is just seeing the ball so well. I heard him in an interview recently talking about his swing, talking about his approach up there. And the only thing that he said was different was that he's swinging at hittable pitches. And I think that is the key right there. He's just swinging at pitches that he can make good contact with. And right there, he drilled that baseball down the line for a double.
It was the 26th double of the season for Guerrero, as he is now in scoring position for Spencer Horwitz, batting .284 coming into action today in 44 games with the Jays. Horwitz playing at first base today. The lefty bat takes the second pitch for a strike. The fastball good. It's 1-1. A sunny afternoon in Baltimore. And an afternoon tilt on a Wednesday. A swing and a miss on the third pitch. Another fastball is in there. And it's now 1-2. Now Horwitz asks for time, steps out of the box for a moment. Here's the 1-2 pitch, fouled off by Horwitz. We'll do it again now at 1-2.
Pretty good pitch from Rodriguez there. 97 above the strike zone. Spencer Horwitz again staying alive. So good at fouling off tough pitches. He's been doing that all season long, even though he's been struggling mightily over the last little while.
3 for his last 21. We were talking about that off air, and I actually went and did a little homework. Horwitz dribbles one out to second. It's scooped up by Jackson Holliday over to first. The throw out Spencer Horwitz, and that will do it here in the first inning as the Blue Jays strand Vladdy at second. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
George Springer takes his love for hockey seriously. It's even starting to show in his post-game press conferences.
All right, first. Hey, George, big catch by Dalton there in the 8th. You know, Varshy's a grinder.
Really felt like a team effort tonight.
26 guys. Takes all 26 guys. Yeah, bud. This one was a barn burner. Just tried to get the barrel on it, eh? Yeah, that was a beauty, eh? Those guys were chirping. They wanted to drop the mitts. Next.
Get down to Rogers Center on August 7th and get your George Springer replica hockey jersey presented by TD. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Hey, Blue Jays fans, are you ready to hit a home run with your next roof? Introducing GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, designed to keep your roof looking and feeling like a winner, rain or shine. GAF is proud to be the official shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Visit homedepot.ca and search GAF to learn more about how GAF Timberline HDZ roofing shingles can elevate your home to the next level. GAF, we protect what matters most.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Green kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. They defeat the Mariners
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
First inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Paulo Espino on the mound now for the Blue Jays, wearing that white 52. On the back of the jersey, delivers a pitch down Main Street to the first Baltimore batter. That's Colton Cowser. And underneath it, to make the grab out in left field with the Pit Vipers on, is Joey Loperfido.
Well, you don't care about his swing. You don't care about his skill level. You care about his
Gotta look good
his
to feel
fashion.
Good. Gotta look good to feel good.
Mr. Fashionista with the floral pattern shirt over there.
Yeah, well, can you just do up a button over there for me? All right. One down here in the bottom of the first, as Anthony Santander steps to the plate. Santander batting .246 on the season, but forget about the average. It's the power numbers that he possesses. And we've already seen him go deep once in this series. First pitch, no good. fastball missing at 88. Santander, as I mentioned, the power, 31 home runs on the season, 72 runs batted in. And the 1-0 pitch a little bit too low from Espino. And now 2-0. And the next pitch down Main Street, the fastball at 88. Not a ton of juice on that one, but it was right there, and a 2-1 count now to Santander.
Well, Espino's not a hard thrower. The four-seam fastball is about 89. But interestingly enough, he'll throw that sweeper more than the fastball.
And the curveball dropped in right now for a 2-2 count. That one was pretty.
Let's put things in perspective for Anthony Santander. You said the average will overlook the average at 243, but Anthony Santander is tied for third in all of Major League Baseball in home runs.
31 home runs. I'll take that.
Behind Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a wealthy man.
He's making $11.4 million this year. His last year of arbitration, I think next year.
He'll double that at least. No?
I don't know exactly what his age is.
He just fouled off the 2-2 pitch. Santander in the month of July is 13 of 28 in terms of extra base hits. And he just ripped one into right field. It won't be extras, but it'll be a one-out single for Anthony Santander.
Well, that was just a fastball, 88 miles an hour, about thigh high. Anthony Santander, sorry, that wasn't thigh high. That was out of the strike zone. He just chopped down on that ball and drilled it over the second baseman, over Davis Schneider at second base. He is a pretty solid player.
And this brings up Gunnar Henderson. As we talked about last night, a ton of lefties in the Baltimore lineup thanks to left-handed bats and switch hitters. And Henderson narrowly, I mean narrowly, misses what would have been at least a double into the right field corner. He jumped on that first pitch from Espino and just missed by maybe a half a foot, if that. It was real close.
Maybe 2 inches, 3 inches. But Espino has a very slow curveball, a lot like Chris Bassett's. He tried to flip that in there. Gunnar Henderson was just out in front of it. And again, like you said, hitting that thing about 6 inches foul.
28 home runs on the season for Henderson. And now the 0-1 pitch is fouled away. He got fooled by that changeup, just got barely a piece of it, and it's now 0-2 to Henderson. His slugging percentage against breaking balls, .789, which is #1 in all of baseball. Outside with a fastball, way outside. Espino misses, and it's now 1-2.
So you're saying don't mix in a breaking ball here?
I would say it'd be best to stay away from that. That's my solid analysis on that one. Horwitz holding Santander at first. Espino with the 1-2 pitch, and again it's fouled off on the curveball, dribbling toward the Baltimore dugout. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Well, I think the interesting thing about that, the slug against breaking balls for Gunnar Henderson, is he probably doesn't see those curveballs like Espino has, like Chris Bassett has, that are 69, 70 miles an hour very often. So that's probably something that he's not comfortable with. That one right there, 70 miles an hour.
And Henderson held off on that one. It was down low, picked up by Servin. Brian Servin catching today. He came in relief mid-game yesterday after Alejandro Kirk got hit on the left arm. But to our knowledge, there's no issue with Kirk. Just a regular start for Servin today in this final game of 4 against the Orioles. It'll be an off day tomorrow for the Blue Jays before they open up a weekend set in New York against the Yankees. New York right now in Philly with an afternoon tilt against the Phillies, so we will keep you updated on that score. The 3-2 pitch is sent down the left field line, trying to track it down, but he's got no chance because it's about 8-10 rows deep. Was Joey Loperfido in left field. So let's reset again and do it at 3-2. It'll be the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Gunnar Henderson. One down, bottom of the first, with a runner on for Baltimore. There's no score. And now Espino whips one over to first, trying to keep Santander honest. And it was a hot shot that Horwitz either dropped or it might have even hit Santander. We're going to get the replay from our TV friends in real time. It was tough to see exactly what happened. It was Horwitz as he placed the tag on the chest of Santander. The ball squirted out of his glove.
It actually looked like they might have had him if Spencer Horwitz held on to that baseball.
And now Espino throws over again, and Santander dives back into the bag. (3-2) to Gunnar Henderson. Here's the pitch. And Henderson again rips one down the right field line. Foul. It actually goes off the netting down in that corner. So George Springer has to pick that one up and toss it over to the ball person.
And like you said, he was right on that breaking ball from Paulo Espino.
This now the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Espino looks in at the sign from Servin. Santander with the lead at first. Horwitz is holding him on. Santander takes off. The pitch is outside, so it doesn't matter for Santander. It's a walk issued to Gunnar Henderson. And now first and second with one away here in the bottom of the first.
That was a tough AB against a tough hitter for Paulo Espino. Threw some good pitches in that at-bat. Gunnar Henderson was able to foul off a couple tough breaking balls. And in the end, he takes his walk. And here comes Ryan O'Hearn. Pretty good hitter as well, left-handed.
Yep, yet another lefty. 4 straight in the lineup for Baltimore to start this game. Cowser, Santander, the switch hitter, batting from the left side, of course. Henderson, and now O'Hearn with 2 on and 1 out. He's batting .277 on the season, and he does have some pop as well with 13 home runs. First pitch is in for a strike for O'Hearn. 2 for 9 in this series. Would love to get a big hit right here. And he pops one up, and it's going to stay in fair territory easily. It's actually on the fair side of the third base line, and tracking it over is actually the shortstop, Ernie Clement, who called off Addison Barger, made the grab, and just like that, there's 2 away.
Well, Ernie Clement was struggling with the sun. You could tell that sun is strong up there in Baltimore. He's wearing the sunglasses, the eye black. He was shielding his face with his glove. A nice play from Ernie Clement.
So the first right-handed bat of the game for the Orioles comes up. Ryan Mountcastle, the first baseman, and another hitter who's got some pop. 13 home runs, 52 runs batted in, and a .273 average. A ton of weapons in this Baltimore lineup. And he swings at the first pitch, sends it opposite field into right field. It's off the wall, and it gets past George Springer on the ricochet. And coming around all the way to third will be Mountcastle safe, which scores 2 runs on the RBI triple for Ryan Mountcastle.
That was a good swing from Ryan Mountcastle. Ryan Mountcastle hitting that ball off the wall in right field, that tall wall out there in right field. But George Springer makes a rare mistake out there, letting that ball get by him, and now Mountcastle is at third base instead of second base, and 2 runs have scored in this first inning for the Baltimore Orioles.
Springer was tracking it like he thought he had a chance to catch it, and then on the track realized that A, it was too far from him, and B, it was way too high up the wall, and as a result, to Chris's point, it ricocheted right on by him, and he misplayed it badly, which allowed Mountcastle to get in that extra bag. So yet again, Baltimore jumps on Toronto early with 2 runs and perhaps more coming here in the first. It's a 1-0 count to Cedric Mullins, the lefty bat. Mullins playing out in center field today. Looks at the second pitch, a changeup outside, and now Espino down on the count 2-0. What did I tell you in the commercial break? I want a clean first inning.
You didn't get one.
We didn't get one. The 2-0 now 3-0 as Espino misses high. And Mullins looks like he's so relaxed right now you could bring him out a chair. I dare to say he's going to be taking this entire way. The 3-0 pitch, and he actually swings, so I was wrong. Slaps it foul up and over the backstop. It's 3-1.
Well, that was a very hittable pitch. If I'm Cedric Mullins, I'm probably swinging at that pitch as well. 88, almost at the bottom of that strike zone, but right down the middle. He took a good hack at it, fouled it straight back.
And the 3-1 misses high. And another walk for Espino. Puts runners on the corners for Baltimore with 2 away, and Jordan Westberg coming up.
And here comes Pete Walker, probably just trying to settle down Paulo Espino. It's hot out on that mound today. A 12:30 start in Baltimore. 32, 33 degrees Celsius. Not an easy place to be if you're Paulo Espino, throwing a lot of pitches on a warm day, especially against this relentless Baltimore Orioles offense.
The entire infield comes in onto the mound to chat with Walker and Espino. And now Walker heads back to the Blue Jay dugout. Espino with 24 pitches thrown will now deal with Westberg, Jordan Westberg. The Baltimore third baseman batting from the right side, hitting .271 on the season, and insert broken record here. He's got some pop in his bat. 18 home runs, 58 runs batted in, and he's the number 7 hitter in this Baltimore lineup. Not hard to see why the Orioles have had so much success this year. First pitch to Westberg is high, missed with the sweeper, and a 1-0 count.
Paulo Espino was born in Panama City, Panama. He went to high school at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, and the Cleveland Indians drafted him in the 10th round in 2006.
The 1-0 pitch to Westberg, and taking off for second and diving in headfirst with ease is Cedric Mullins. So it's now second and third with 2 away.
So he's been around for a long time, 18 years in professional baseball. I was drafted in 2005, just to kind of put things in perspective. So he's just 1 year behind me.
Why are you out there still? Come on, man.
Oh, buddy.
It's a 1-1 count to Westberg. Here's the pitch, and he popped it up. A little blooper out to short. Underneath it with ease to make the grab is Ernie Clement, and that will finally sit down the Orioles, but they get 2 as we head to the second. It's 2-0 Baltimore. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From Jersey to Ibiza, they say it doesn't get sweeter.
From the bustling streets of Lagos to the favelas of Rio. SiriusXM Tropics is a melting pot of rhythms from Africa, the Caribbean, and beyond. Get away to Tropics, one of more than 200 extra channels available in the SiriusXM app. And all week long, starting Saturday on Channel 105 on most radios.
It's fantasy football season, because we say it is.
Travis Kelce, touchdown!
From fantasy football strategies to players you need to draft or avoid.
Christian McCaffrey is one of the riskiest #1 overall picks in fantasy football history.
Fantasy Sports Radio is your home to win.
There is no bigger value today than Dak Prescott.
If you're not preparing for the 2024 fantasy football season, you're already losing. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The battle for regional soccer supremacy is on in the Leagues Cup.
Cucho Hernandez, it is him yet again!
And your home for all the top matches is SiriusXM FC.
It's a masterpiece from Andre Pierre-Gignac.
Hear all your favorite teams from Major League Soccer and Mexico's Liga MX fight for the right to be crowned the King of North America.
Miami, Leagues Cup champions!
Keep up with the Leagues Cup on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app. In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you. Second inning is brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Ernie Clement, the number 5 hitter for the Blue Jays, starting off this second inning. And the first pitch from Rodriguez in there for a strike on the fastball. An 0-1 count. Clement hitting .266 coming into action today in 86 games. The 0-1. And Clement fouls it off down the first base side. Down 0-2 now. The pitch from Rodriguez, and Clement chased it, got caught on a nasty slider, and he strikes out. There's one away.
That's a pretty good slider right there from Rodriguez. You could tell that Ernie Clement was thinking something hard. He was way out in front of that thing. A wild swing on that slider that was well off the plate outside. Nice pitch right there from Grayson Rodriguez.
Brings up Dalton Varsho now for the Blue Jays. And Varsho swings at the first pitch and slaps it foul down the left field side. Varsho playing in center field today with Loperfido in left. And we already talked about George Springer, who had some issues out in right field last inning. Varsho batting an even .200 coming into action today. Takes the second pitch high on the fastball and a 1-1 count. Rodriguez with the pitch, and Varsho popped it up. And is it going to stay in play? No, it won't. Yes, it will. And bobbling it is James McCann, probably because he's got 1.5 eyes right now.
He actually doesn't look that bad today.
Oh, you keep saying that.
Eric is exaggerating.
His face is still extremely swollen. The left eye is 75% open at best, with multiple fractures on his nose. And to be fair to him, obviously I'm being a little bit funny about what was not a funny situation a couple of days ago when he got hit in the face by a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. The reason he dropped that ball is he actually crashed in with his shin pads, with his knees, into the brick wall there at Camden Yards, right against the backstop, and it kind of made him jolt his body a little bit, and thus he dropped the ball as it was coming down in his glove. But in the end, it doesn't matter, because Dalton Varsho just struck out a little bit late on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and there's now 2 away with back-to-back strikeouts for Rodriguez. And the first pitch into Davis Schneider is good for a strike. The slider caught that inside edge. 0-1 count. And very quickly, no, it's not 0-2. They say that one was a little bit outside on the fastball. Clocked at 97, 1-1 now to Schneider. Davis swings through the next one at 96, right down Main Street, 1-2.
Well, you can see that Davis Schneider is still struggling with that elevated heater right there. That one right there at the top of the strike zone, swinging right through it.
Rodriguez with the 1-2 pitch. Came back with another fastball at 98. This one fouled off by Schneider. We'll do it again at 1-2. His average has dipped down to 218. The 1-2. Outside, nice patience there, holding off on the slider by Schneider. Now 2-2. Rodriguez with the pitch, and it came a little bit inside on the slider, and Schneider whiffed through it. The 4th strikeout of the game for Rodriguez. He strikes out the side here in the second, and we go to the bottom of the second with the Blue Jays trailing 2-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks.
Cheers, insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Blue Jays and the Orioles matchup. Please make sure to hit that like button down below. Exit out of that chat. Make sure that like button has been hit so we can get more Blue Jays fans here in the chat. We've been sitting around 40 to 50 to 60 likes every game. We got to break that trend. We've got to get this going. Tonight's goal, 75. Let's make it happen, team. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Blue Jays, go.
AF, we protect what matters most.
Lumos. Witches, wizards, and muggles come down to the core as Roger Center transforms into Hogwarts. Harry Potter-themed entertainment and activities around the ballpark.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Magic moments create core memories. So fly down to Roger Center on Friday, August 9th, and get one of 4 Blue Jays Harry Potter Hogwarts House Raglan shirts. Harry Potter Night. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Out of here! Out of here! Davis Snyder wins it!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Second inning, bottom of the second. Baltimore leading Toronto 2-0. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue from the Timbermart broadcast booth, as we are going to get a look right now at Jackson Holliday. The left-handed batter takes a first pitch strike from Paulo Espino, the Blue Jay starter. Pretty nice curveball right there, dropped in perfectly on Holliday, and an 0-1 count. Now Holliday chops one down to first base. It's scooped up with ease by Spencer Horwitz, who steps on the bag. There's quickly one away.
And he's now 2 for 35 in his big league career. A good curveball from Paulo Espino there on the outside part, 70 miles an hour. Jackson Holliday was way out in front, hitting a weak ground ball to first base.
James McCann now comes up, and he's sporting a face shield, a protective shield over the nose and eyes. It's clear. It's not colored in any way. We've seen that quite a bit in basketball when guys have broken noses and come out with that face guard on. Protecting the nose that has multiple fractures, just sustained a couple of days ago. Again, getting hit in the face by Yario Rodriguez and a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'm actually curious as to why he doesn't have that extended chin guard, jawline guard like a lot of the guys use. He just has the generic ear guard.
The 1-1 pitch missing from Espino. Servin tried to frame it, but home plate umpire Adrian Johnson was having none of it. It's a 2-1 count to McCann.
I would certainly add that to my helmet if I was just hitting the nose with a mid-90s fastball. I'm sure you would as well.
I'd probably come out with a motorcycle helmet on. The 1-1 sent out into center field, and camping underneath it is Dalton Varsho to make the grab, and there's quickly 2 away.
I was just picturing you with a motorcycle helmet on. It's a good look.
With the full mirrored visor right down. Actually, now that I bring that up, you didn't even think I had a story, but I do. When I went to the Savannah Banana games in Buffalo a couple weeks ago, there was a dude playing for the Bananas that actually came to the plate with a motorcycle helmet on, with the full visor, with the mirrored visor, and then he was taking pictures with all the kids after the game and whatnot.
Yeah, so you stole that joke from him.
No, I actually didn't think of it, believe it or not. But it's a good look. It's like football now, right? When the guys have the helmets on and those full visors that are mirrored, makes them look more intimidating. It's almost akin to when the catchers first started going with those hockey-style masks. Like, that was a new look, a different look. 1-1 now to Colton Cowser as we go back to the top of the order for Baltimore. And missing outside on a four-seam fastball, 2-1. Cowser flew it to left field to start this ball game. The 2-1 pitch, and Espino just got the benefit of a call there. That looked outside, but he was given it allegedly on the outside edge. Take it and run if you're a Blue Jay fan. It's now 2-2.
Well, Colton Cowser didn't like that call. I tend to agree with him. That was a slow curveball that kind of wrapped around the strike zone. Didn't really ever go through the strike zone. Colton Cowser looking back at Adrian Johnson, having a quick conversation with him.
And a nice looking curveball right there, but it drops down a little bit low, so it's now 3-2. Cowser with some patience there, holding off. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And right down Main Street and then into the stands in right field. A solo shot is launched as Cowser jumped on that curveball and took it for a ride.
Well, again, that slow curveball from Paulo Espino. It's effective when you're ahead in the count. It's effective when it looks like a strike down the middle and breaks out of the strike zone. But that one right there started above the strike zone and broke right back down the middle. Colton Cowser waiting back on it, and he didn't miss it, hitting about 25 rows deep in right center for a 3-0 Baltimore lead.
Cowser knew it right off the bat, and I think everybody in the building did too. Varsho just kind of looked up and watched it sail into the stands. So the Blue Jays have more catch-up to do now as the lead increases to 3-0 with Anthony Santander stepping in. First pitch no good, missed on a fastball. 1-0 count. And back with another fastball, that one high. It's now 2-0.
This lineup is absolutely relentless. You give up a home run to Colton Cowser, then you have to deal with Santander, Gunnar Henderson, all kinds of power.
Number one in Major League Baseball in terms of team home runs. Collectively 170 home runs. That's 7 more than the Yankees. 163. Now 3-0 to Santander as Espino misses with the changeup. Comes back with a fastball fouled off. It's now 3-1.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Orioles are not afraid of swinging 3-0. They've done that twice today already. They know that Paulo Espino has a below average fastball. That one right there was 88 right down the middle, and they are ready for it.
Espino with the 3-1 pitch, and it's popped up by Santander, charging in from third. He didn't look like he was going to get there. It kind of looked like it might be a little bit dangerous, but Barger finally did make the grab, and that sits down the Orioles. But again, they get one more on the solo shot from Cowser. They lead 3-0 as we go to the third inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Verdugo for his 7th strikeout.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back, third inning. Top of the third. Blue Jays trying to get on the board here. Trailing 3-0, and the first pitch to Addison Barger is taken to right field. It's a skied shot, and it's gone. A solo shot for Addison Barger, and maybe that gets the Blue Jays going. There was no doubt off the bat of Barger It's 3-1 Baltimore.
Well, that was a towering shot to right field over that tall wall out there in right field. One hop onto Utah Street here at Camden Yards, and that's got to be a good feeling for him. He puts on the home run jacket, his second big league home run. He's been seeing the ball very well recently.
So the Blue Jays get on the board here, and a great way to hopefully ignite this lineup here in the third inning. It traveled 371 feet. It didn't go far. It just went high, and you knew it from the jump. Up and over that tall wall in right field. And now Brian Servin steps in and fouls off a 1-0 pitch. It's now even at 1-1.
I'll tell you one guy in this lineup today that will not be getting a haircut anytime soon.
Addison Barger?
Yes, sir.
He'll be letting that thing flow. 1-1, fouled off by Servin. It's now 1-2. Third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Kingston and Napanee, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Servin steps into the box, gets set for the 1-2 pitch. And it's in for a strike. He gets caught looking as it caught the bottom part of the zone on a fastball at 98. There's one away.
And that's about as good as it gets from any pitcher. 98, outside corner. That is impossible to hit. The only thing you can really do there is try to foul it off. But Brian Servin just stands there with the bat on his shoulder. It's a tough pitch right there. Tough AB for Brian Servin.
Back to the top of the order we go now with George Springer. Fouls off the first pitch. Down 0-1. And now Springer sends a base hit into left field. And he'll be at first base now with 1 out for Joey Loperfido.
Who are you more excited to watch today, Joey Loperfido or Jackson Holliday?
Loperfido.
Why?
Because I'm calling Blue Jay games.
Yeah, but Jackson Holliday.
I don't care.
So this argument is pointless right now.
Put it this way. Due respect to Jackson Holliday, and I legitimately mean this. He might end up being one of the superstars in baseball, but if I were in Toronto right now, like next week, I'm not going to watch the Orioles and Blue Jays because of Jackson Holliday. Not yet. I wouldn't be buying a ticket just to say, oh, I got to see Jackson Holliday. Not yet. I haven't seen enough. He hasn't done enough. Loperfido just sent one foul down the first base line. And it's now 1-1.
So if he had just been called up today, let's say, for the first time, and he wasn't 2 for 35 or whatever he is in his big league career, would you be more interested in him?
Jackson Holliday.
Okay.
Loperfido now 1-2 as he fouls off that pitch. A fastball at 96.
I had the benefit of seeing him in spring training, though, and he was unbelievable in spring training. Looked like a stud.
I didn't get the invite to spring training.
It's nice down in Clearwater.
I bet it is. The 1-2 pitch. Loperfido strikes out, and unfortunately, for the second time in this game, there's now 2 away. And if you remember back to the second inning, Rodriguez struck out the side. So it's now 5 straight strikeouts for Grayson Rodriguez. Well, technically not 5 straight because there was a solo shot for Addison Barger thrown in the mix. But in terms of talking about the outs recorded, 5 straight strikeouts as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes in and looks at the first pitch. It caught the outside edge on a fastball at 98, 0-1 to Vladdy. Doubled in his first at bat, the average up to 313. Springer is on first. And Rodriguez throws over to first. Springer dives back into the bag.
George Springer has 13 stolen bases this season, a perfect 13 for 13. So you know if he's going, he's probably taking that base.
The 0-1 pitch to Vladdy is up high. It's 1-1. Would you try and get George moving right now to get him in scoring position?
Nah, I wouldn't. You just don't want to take the bat out of Vlad's hands here. He's just too hot. And I know George is 13 for 13, but I don't go here.
And the 1-1 pitch is down Main Street. Vladdy stares at that fastball, clocked at 98. Now 1-2, and he kind of nods his head, looks at Rodriguez. Okay.
You maybe think about it with 2 strikes, but I still tend to lean just stick at first base.
Now Vladdy fouls off the slider, goes up and over the Orioles dugout deep into the stands. And now it's 1-2.
And that slider from Rodriguez was right down the middle, just a spinning slider. You could hear Vlad yell at himself, just fouling that ball back, just missing it. And then he actually took his helmet off and walked all the way around home plate because he was so upset with himself, taking deep breaths along the way. I want that pitch back too if I'm Vlad.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and miss. Vladdy sits down, as do the Jays. 6 straight strikeouts for Rodriguez. He's got 7 in the game. The Blue Jays do get 1 run, though, on the Addison Barger home run, the solo shot. It's now 3-1 Baltimore going to the bottom of the 3rd. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The biggest names in NASCAR talk are now with SiriusXM.
Hey, this is Denny Hamlin, host of Actions Detrimental, driver of the number 11 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, and co-owner of 2311 Racing. Join me and my co-host Jared Allen every Monday for a recap of each NASCAR race from the driver's seat. We'll break down how my race went and hopefully ending in victory lane.
Hear Actions Detrimental plus every incredible podcast from Dirty Mo Media right now on the SiriusXM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
Have you heard the news?
He's here.
He's finally here.
Hey, this is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and for the first time, you'll be able to hear my podcast, the Dale Jr. Download, right here on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio.
Please welcome Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the SiriusXM NASCAR Radio team. Hear both unique episodes of the Dale Jr. Download.
Wednesday at 6 p.m. and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. So right now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timbermart stores are family-owned and operated and know the value in giving back to the communities that they serve. Now, more than ever, it's important to shop local. And Gunnar Henderson is trying to shop and purchase whatever is being thrown right now by Espino as he jumps on the first pitch of this bottom of the 3rd, sends it to the gap in right field around 2nd and on to 3rd, diving into the bag, and it's a triple to start the 3rd for Gunnar Henderson.
Well, the Baltimore Orioles have to be salivating with this fastball from Paulo Espino. That one right there was 87 straight right down the middle, and he drilled it into the gap for a leadoff triple here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Ryan O'Hearn now steps in with Henderson out at 3rd, and Espino comes in with a curveball at 70. One-oh count. And this one sent out into center field. Varsho with the grab, but Henderson's going to come in and score easily on the sac fly, and Baltimore extends the lead to 4-1.
Well, Ryan O'Hearn's a smart hitter. He knew exactly what he needed to do in that at-bat. Outside of getting a base hit, he knew that he needed to hit something deep to the outfield to score that run from third base. That was an elevated changeup. He just got underneath it and hit a deep fly ball to Dalton Varsho out in center field, scoring Gunnar Henderson with ease.
(4-1) Baltimore on top with 1 out here in the third inning. And the first pitch in from Espino, no good. Missed with that curveball. Clocked at 69. A 1-0 count to Mountcastle. Ryan Mountcastle, 1 for 1, had a triple in the first inning that scored 2. Back with a strike on another curveball at 69. I'm sure he only wishes he had a curveball at 96. The 1-1. Oh, wouldn't it be great to have a I'm talking any pitcher. Wouldn't you want a 96-mile-an-hour curveball?
I
Be off the charts.
I'm trying to think of the hardest curveball I've ever seen. Maybe 89. Like a true curveball. 88, around there, somewhere around there.
And Mountcastle slaps at the 1-2 pitch, sends it foul on the sweeper. Unable to catch up with that one. 1-2 to Ryan Mountcastle. And that went outside down in the dirt, and it's now 2-2.
This year in AAA, Paulo Espino really wasn't great. 12 starts for the Bisons, 53 innings, 60 hits, and an ERA of 5.09. So he really hasn't been lights out down there in Buffalo, but let's see if we can get him through 5 here.
And the 2-2 pitch is fouled off, so this at-bat continues for Ryan Mountcastle. And now a swing and a miss as Mountcastle chases after that curveball. And Espino gets his first strikeout of the game. And there's now 2 away.
Pretty good pitch. I mentioned last inning that in order for that curveball, that super slow one, that one right there was 70, to be effective, it has to start down the middle or at the bottom of that strike zone, look like a hittable pitch, and then it breaks out of the strike zone and down potentially in the dirt. And that one right there was perfect. Bounced. One hopped into Brian Servin's glove.
Cedric Mullins jumps on the first pitch and sends it into center field. Quickly on it is Varsho, and he had to get to it quickly with the speed of Mullins. So they hold Mullins at first with the single. And now a runner on base with 2 away for Jordan Westberg. Mullins certainly a threat in terms of the speed on the base paths. We'll see if he tries to get going here with 2 away. Westberg, first pitch outside from Espino, and a 1-0 count.
And this is the same exact situation that we talked about with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up and George Springer at first base. 2 outs. A runner on first. Do I send Cedric Mullins in this situation? Absolutely. It's an entirely different situation because Jordan Westberg is not Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Mullins with 18 stolen bases on the season. He has been caught 5 times.
Not a bad percentage.
Nope.
George Springer is just incredible. 13 for 13.
The 1-0. And it's slap fouled down the third base line, dribbling toward the wall. And the count to Westberg now sits at 1-1. Westberg popped out to short in his first at bat back in the first inning. Baltimore leading 4-1. They were up 3-0. Toronto got one back in the top half of this inning, but Baltimore got that run right back as they cashed in the leadoff triple from Gunnar Henderson. The 1-1 pitch. On a soft liner out to short, Clement grabbed it, bobbled it for a second, picked it up, throws to first, records the out, and that will do it. But again, Baltimore leads 4-1 as we go to the 4th. You are listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I'm John Paul Morosi, host of the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown. Each week, I talk with a Baseball Hall of Famer about the challenges they overcame to become an all-time great.
It is a hard game, and mentally it's hard.
My legs started shaking.
They pretty much knew I was going to have lung surgery after the season. I wasn't for sure. Would I ever play baseball again?
The Road to Cooperstown is the official podcast of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Episodes are available now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog?
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us today for the Blue Jays and the Orioles matchup. Take a second and check us out over on social media. We're starting some pushes over on TikTok and Twitter, as you see below, the handle at @TS_insider. We're going to be doing some social work over there and getting some stuff going with some photos and videos, highlights, etc. So make sure you guys drop a follow over there, and we'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Jays, go.
All in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike three and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the SiriusXM app, then tell me to play the Blue Jays on SiriusXM.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19+. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Spencer Horwitz to start things off for the Blue Jays here. And a pitch coming high, a little bit inside on a fastball at 95 and a 1-0 count to Horwitz. And Spencer pops this one up. It's drifting toward the Blue Jay dugout, shading himself from the sun, and eventually making a pretty tough grab is Jordan Westburg at third base. And he records the first out of this fourth inning.
That pop-up right there shows just how tough that sun is, kind of behind home plate. Jordan Westburg really struggled with that one, shading his face from the sun with his glove. Actually lost it for a second and had to run over and catch that ball. That's a tough play from Jordan Westburg.
The first pitch into Ernie Clement. He gets the call. That looked like it might have caught the outer edge of the zone. So Clement will certainly take that. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Rodriguez back down low. A little one skipper in the dirt. Nice scoop by McCann as he reaches back for a fresh baseball. From home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. Rodriguez now down in the count to Clement, 2-0. And Clement swings at the next pitch. Chops one out to third. Tough grab there. They throw to first, and they don't get Ernie as he hustles down the line. Westburg made a nice grab, but just couldn't get the throw there in time. Gunnar Henderson was right behind Westburg, and now he's chatting with Westburg. Perhaps he wanted that ball himself.
Well, I don't know if the Orioles are going to challenge this. They might. It looks like he's safe on that slow motion replay, so I'm sure they won't. But a really nice play from Westburg, ranging to his left. I think that ball was hit so slowly that they really wouldn't have had a chance regardless.
Brings up Dalton Varsho, and Varsho swings at the first pitch and skies one out to right field. Plenty of room for Anthony Santander as he backtracks, camps underneath it, makes the grab, and there's two away. Davis Schneider now stepping up, hoping to move around his roommate.
And now we're in, I mean, I hate to keep bringing this up, but we're in the exact same situation that we were in last inning. 2 outs, runner on first, a guy at the plate. In this situation, if Ernie Clement thinks that he can get a good jump, I absolutely send Ernie. I want to get that guy into scoring position. I want to have him potentially score on a single. The difference is it's Davis Schneider in the batter's box and not Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
First pitch was a strike to Schneider. Second one down in the dirt. Now even 1-1. You and I were talking in the commercial break. I think that part of the reason I wanted to see Springer moving is because, as you noted, he's 13 for 13. So you take advantage of his speed, but in the process, I absolutely hear what you're saying, that you would be then potentially taking the bat out of the hands of Vladdy.
And then Vladdy again comes up next inning. Yes, that's a valid point, but nobody's on base.
Right.
If Vlad gets on base, who's going to drive in Vladdy?
Right.
That's the only thing that I'm thinking of if I'm John Schneider or any manager.
The 2-1 pitch down low outside. It's now 3-1. Toronto trying to put together a little 2-out rally here if they can. As Schneider tries to keep the inning going with Clement out at first. The 3-1 pitch down Main Street, and Davis swings through it on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It's now 3-2.
If I'm Grayson Rodriguez, I don't mess around. I mean, Davis Schneider has shown that he can't hit that elevated heater from Grayson Rodriguez. Why throw something off speed? Why speed that bat up?
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Clement takes off. It's down low, and Schneider earns the walk. Now 2 on and 2 out. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for details. Always devilishly good. The one to keep an eye on right now for sure is New York leading Philadelphia. The Yankees over the Phillies 4-0 in the bottom of the fourth. As Baltimore entered action today, just a half game up on the Yankees. So scoreboard watching for both the Yankees and Orioles fans. 4-1 Baltimore leading Toronto. Addison Barger swing and miss at the first pitch. A fastball clocked at 98. Barger had a solo home run in his last at bat.
Did you see you hit a home run in that Yankees game?
I didn't, but I'm going to guess it's one of two people. And one of the two is not Juan Soto.
Well, it wasn't Juan Soto. It wasn't Aaron Judge.
So it's got to be.
It wasn't Jazz Chisholm.
Oh, that was my guess.
DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who has been struggling mightily this season.
Well, I thought
under
for sure.
200.
I thought for sure it was going to be Jazz because he's been absolutely on fire. Barger now down 0-2 as he fouled off that second pitch, the changeup, and he slaps this one foul down the third base line. A fastball clocked at 99. I believe that's the fastest we've seen from Rodriguez today. Barger got a piece of it to stay alive with 2 on, 2 out, and the Blue Jays trailing 4-1. Here's the pitch, and Barger sends it opposite field into left field, and that ball is fair. It bounces off the dirt, off the pole, and it will be a double for Barger. A great piece of hitting there. Unfortunately, it hit the pole and didn't stay in play. Otherwise, it would have cashed 2. So Schneider is stuck at third, Barger at second, and it's now second and third with 2 away for Brian Serven.
And I would not have thought that Addison Barger would go down the left field line with a double in this game. I thought he was really pull happy, but he takes that fastball on the outside part of the plate and he absolutely smoked it down that left field line.
The Toronto cuts the lead to 4-2. The first pitch, a slider in for a strike against Serven, 0-1 count. And now Serven dribbles one down third. Charging in is Schneider. He would score, but it doesn't matter because Serven is thrown out at first, and that will do it for the Blue Jays. But they do get back one more. They trail 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. You are listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. and inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Pizza.ca. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. He keeps this game tied
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you from the Timber Mart broadcast booth, getting set to start the bottom of the fourth inning, and the Blue Jays trail the Orioles 4-2. The Blue Jays getting one run moments ago in the top half of the fourth, as Jackson Holliday will lead things off here for Baltimore in the fourth inning. In fact, he led off the second inning as well, grounding out to first base. Takes the first pitch from Paulo Espino, a strike catching the outside edge on the changeup. 0-1 to Jackson Holliday. And he chops one out to second base. It's picked up by Davis Schneider on to Spencer Horwitz to record the out, and there's one away.
Pretty good changeup right there from Espino. Started right down the middle, kind of faded down to the bottom of that strike zone, and Jackson Holliday just hit a weak ground ball to second base. Route number one.
Paulo Espino has thrown 60 pitches in the ballgame. He and the Blue Jays trail 4-2 as James McCann steps up, flew it to center. In his first at bat, he takes an inside pitch, a curveball at 69, no good, and the count sits at 1-0. And another one inside, and McCann dipping out of the way, and the fans don't like that as McCann steps out of the box and adjusts that face shield. And of course, anything inside on McCann will be certainly on his mind or in his mind after getting hit in the face a couple of days ago and fracturing multiple bones in his nose. The 2-0 pitch, and back a little bit inside again, missing on the fastball, and now 3-0.
That's 3 straight pitches on the inside part. Probably pretty uncomfortable for James McCann.
Yep.
And obviously the crowd doesn't like it as well.
Espino came back inside again, missing, and 4 straight balls in the free pass to James McCann.
Well, not a good at-bat for Paulo Espino right there. None of those 4 pitches were even remotely close to the strike zone. Obviously getting a little bit tired. Maybe his hands and his arms are a little bit sweaty now. You can see the curveball and the sweeper aren't spinning as well as they were earlier on in this ballgame.
So a man on with 1 out as we go to the top of the order with Colton Cowser. Cowser 1 for 2 in the ballgame. Had a solo home run back in the second inning in his last at bat. Espino has not had a clean inning yet. Gave up 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and now a runner on here in the fourth. Baltimore up 4-2. The 1-0 pitch to Cowser outside. It's now 2-0, and that's 6 straight balls issued by Espino. The 2-0 pitch, high and inside, but Cowser offered at it and slaps it foul into the backstop, into the netting. Count now sitting at 2-1.
Cowser helped him out with that one. That fastball at 87, nowhere near the strike zone again, up around the hands of Colton Cowser. I think he was a little bit antsy in that 2-0 count.
On the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. Philadelphia has scored 2, but the Yankees still lead Philadelphia 4-2. Cowser sends one foul down the first base side. And it's now 2-2. There are a couple other games going on right now. The Mets leading the Twins 2-1, bottom of the second, and bottom of the sixth. Miami with a 4-2 lead over Tampa. So 4 games going on across baseball right now, including this one right here with the Orioles and Blue Jays. The 2-2 pitch is ripped to first off the glove of Horwitz, and then diving for it is Schneider, and it ricochets off his glove into right field. But luckily for the Blue Jays, James McCann either didn't notice or maybe wouldn't have got there anyway, as he stopped at second, might have had a chance to go to third after the Blue Jays kind of kicked that ball around. So it's now first and second, not runners on the corners for the Blue Jays, or excuse me, for the Orioles, with 1 away here in the 4th.
Well, I don't know what happened with James McCann over there at second base, but I can tell you this much. The ball is behind him going to second base, so he thinks that Davis Schneider came up with that baseball, so he's probably just thinking, I'm stopping at second base, not trying to go anywhere. But in that situation, you were supposed to look at your third base coach. I don't know if he did or not.
It brings up Anthony Santander in a dangerous position for the Blue Jays. 31 home runs on the season, 3rd in Major League Baseball. 72 runs batted in for Santander. He's already 1 for 2 in the ball game. He could do some damage right here. The changeup in for a strike, and 0-1 count to Santander. Espino looks out at second, turns, fires, and a fastball down Main Street fouled off by Santander, and now Espino ahead 0-2. Action in the Blue Jay bullpen. Espino has now thrown 71 pitches. But again, he's ahead 0-2. Santander rips one down the right field side and actually pounds off the wall and ricochets into right field. The ball girl goes out and grabs it, and we reset with Santander down 0-2.
I would love to see a changeup here from Espino. See if you get Santander out in front, hit a weak ground ball somewhere.
And instead he came back with the heat, left it high, and it is launched into center field. At the wall, though, making the grab with a little hop on the track is Varsho. Tagging and moving up to third was McCann. So it's now runners on the corners. That thing looked like it was going to be in the stands, and I don't know if there's any wind in Baltimore or not, but luckily for Toronto and for Espino, right against the wall in the deepest part of the park, Dalton Varsho makes the grab.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Dalton Varsho was trying to fake everybody out. It looked like it was a home run to me. Pete Walker is out talking to Paulo Espino right now. But they tried to elevate with that fastball, and again, Paulo Espino's fastball is not overpowering. So when you get a guy with as much power as Anthony Santander up there, all he has to do is get the barrel to that ball, which really isn't tough for a guy with bat speed like that. He just missed that 89-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the strike zone. Probably about, what, 2 feet, 3 feet from hitting a home run?
Yeah, if that, yeah. That was one of those ones that looked not just good, but great off the bat. Like, I thought for sure that thing was going.
You thought that was Dinger 32?
Yep.
Sounds like a restaurant.
Dinger 32. Hey, keep it quiet. Maybe you're onto something. Gunnar Henderson with a walk, a triple, and 2 runs scored. Coming up to the plate, batting .285 on the season. A runner in scoring position at third, 2 runners on all total. They're on the corners, first and third, 2 away. Baltimore leading 4-2. Espino, this will be pitch 75, number 75 coming right here on the 1-0 to Henderson. He looks over at third at James McCann. Here's the pitch, and Henderson sends it into center field on a line, tracking back, making the grab over the shoulder is Dalton Varsho, and that will end the inning, the first clean inning for Espino as we go to the 5th, and the Blue Jays trail 4-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
It's the SiriusXM NFL Radio Training Camp Tour. Find out the latest from the players and coaches of the Detroit Lions right now. Then at 7 Eastern, it's a trip to the camp of the Los Angeles Chargers. The SiriusXM NFL Radio Training Camp Tour.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for hanging out with us for this Blue Jays against the Orioles matchup. Please take a second, make sure you have hit that subscribe button. Are you a part of the best Toronto sports community on YouTube? Make sure you have hit that subscribe button and become an insider right now. Also, make sure that bell is turned on so you don't miss any of our awesome Toronto sports action. If a Toronto team is live, we're live. We're here hanging out in the chat, talking it up. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Let's go Blue Jays.
You should never turn off SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Our hosts have the best takes.
Tiger's impact on the game of golf, aside from how good he was at it, was something that I don't think we'll ever see again.
Talk to the biggest guests.
Scotty, you've had a year to celebrate.
This year, I've just seen a lot of good results.
And can even help you with your own game.
Take the club and at address, open it up.
It's all golf, all the time. On SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, John Schneider joins MLB Network Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
The fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca.
It's one of the best ones I've heard yet, buddy. Mr. Fifth Inning. Chris LaRue as we get set for the Blue Jay bats here in the fifth. Grayson Rodriguez has been dealing for the Orioles, but Toronto over the last 2 innings has found a way to put a couple of dents in the armor with 1 run in the third and another one in the fourth. Toronto still trailing though 4-2. They've actually pulled even with the Orioles in terms of hits in the ball game, but Baltimore with 4 runs on 5 hits and the Blue Jays with just 2 runs on 5 hits. And did they just get their 6th? They did. A 1 bouncer off the track in right field. George Springer getting on his horse, sliding in head first to second, and it's a leadoff double for George Springer.
That was a fastball right down the middle, and George Springer drilled it, one-hopped it off that fence in right field. He was on his horse. Santander did a good job picking that baseball up off the wall and threw a strike to second base, but George Springer dives in head first for a double. Still nobody out.
It brings up Joey Loperfido, and he swings at the first pitch down the first base line in fair territory. It's scooped up by Mountcastle, so Springer moves over to third, and now 1 away. Loperfido struck out in his first 2 at-bats. The ground out to first, now 0 for 3 in his Blue Jay debut, but at least he did move up the runner to put Springer in a position to at least score even on a sack if Vladdy can get underneath one.
And you said it. He moved the runner over and still just 1 out with the runner on third base.
Guerrero steps up 1 for 2 on the day. A double in his first at-bat. He struck out in the third in his last at-bat, hitting .313 on the season, 69 runs batted in. He would love to cash in number 70 right here, and he fouls off the 1-0 pitch. Now even 1-1. Stepping out of the box for a moment to adjust the straps on that elbow pad, and now digging back in. Rodriguez gets the sign. The leg kick and the delivery came inside on Vladdy, dribbles it down softly. Springer's going to score. Vladdy thrown out at first, but the Blue Jays get the run, and they have cut the Baltimore lead to 1.
That is a big run. In the top of the fifth, the Blue Jays are now down just 1 run. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits a weak ground ball to third base. Jordan Westberg makes a great play, barehanding that baseball, throwing it off 1 leg, getting the out, but the Blue Jays score 1 run here.
Tell you what, it's a great point you make about the play by Westberg, Because with Vladdy, with the speed, the sneaky speed he has, off the bat, I thought he was going to be safe at first.
Yeah, that was a great play. Had to make that play perfectly, otherwise Vlad would have been safe at first base.
So Vladdy does get RBI number 70 on the season, and the Blue Jays trail by just 1. Spencer Horwitz now up, though, with 2 out and nobody on. 0 for 2 in the ball game for Horwitz as his mini funk continues. Would love to bust out of it right here. The 0-2 pitch outside, missed at a fastball at 98. And now 1-2.
You called it a mini funk. I would call it a medium. Medium funk. Over his last 15 games, he's hitting just .211, 12 for 57.
He fouls this one off. And I was looking at an even smaller sample size. I want to say it was over 7 games that I gave you earlier when he was 3 for 21. I believe it's now 3 for 23. I've got to double check that maybe.
You should triple check that.
It's going to be an 0 for 3 start to his day as he just grounded out to first. As Mountcastle scoops it up, steps on the bag, and that does it for the Jays. But again, they have scored in 3 straight innings now, and they have cut the Baltimore lead to 4-3. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th in a moment. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
You're drafting your fantasy football teams this month, and Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help.
Right side of the end zone, touchdown, CeeDee Lamb.
From winning strategies to expert drafts you can model your teams after, to up-to-the-minute news, your championship run starts right now.
If you are sitting at the 12th pick and you are like, well, there's 10 receivers already gone, what do I? Take the second best running back.
Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The NFL Radio Training Camp Tour is here.
The process with all our players is to come out and improve, get better each day.
Nobody gets you ready for the 2024 season like we do.
For the veteran players, they want to see the guy earn the job.
Don't miss analysis from our experts and interviews with head coaches, executives, and players.
We embrace this portion of our journey. We're just here to work and get better.
Hear coverage of the National Football League all year long on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you from the Timber Mart broadcast booth. As we get set to start the bottom half of the 5th inning, Yerry Rodriguez comes in 13 games with a 7.71 ERA. The day is done for Paulo Espino, and all things considered, he navigated his way through this game. He gave up 4 runs, but he got a little bit of help over the last few innings from the Blue Jay bats, and it's a 4-3 game as Rodriguez takes over. The first pitch inside, down low, and a 1-0 count to Ryan O'Hearn.
Well, I thought before this ball game, if Paulo Espino can go 5 innings, giving up 3 earned runs, he should be pumped and excited. Giving up 4 runs in 4 innings, you're still in this ball game. He gave the Blue Jays a chance to win this ball game. That's really all you can ask.
The 1-0 fouled off by O'Hearn. It's now 1-1. By the way, you told me to do a little math, a little more homework, and triple check my numbers. Going back to Spencer Horwitz for a second, 3 for 24 in his last 6 games. But again, as you noted, the 15-game stretch, the average now dipping down to just above 200 for Horwitz. Spencer out at first base today. Vladdy the DH. And now Yerry Rodriguez into the ball game and ahead in the count on Ryan O'Hearn, 1-2. And O'Hearn just fouled off a slider that was coming inside. We'll do it again at 1-2. It's the 4th of 4 here in Baltimore, with the Blue Jays hoping to get the split. After losing last night, Baltimore has taken 2 of the first 3. Rodriguez gets the sign from Servin. And here's the pitch. Way down low. He missed badly. He skipped that thing about 4 feet in front of the plate on the grass. Missed badly with that changeup. It's now 2-2.
This is a big spot for Yerry Rodriguez. Not really used to those high leverage situations. I know it's early in this ball game still, but the Blue Jays have a chance to win this ball game. This is a high leverage situation for Rodriguez.
The 2-2 pitch. And O'Hearn sends it out to left field, opposite field, but back on the track and making the grab is Joey Loperfido, and there's one away.
This injury report is brought to you by Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pereira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. There's not much to report on the injury front.
So why don't we go with a roster report? Because it could be an injured ego or hurt feelings of people going up and down. That's our spin on it.
We saw Jose Cuas last night. He was optioned to AAA, and then Paulo Espino took his spot on the roster to start today. They kind of swapped spots with the Buffalo Bisons. It's really all there is to report. That's kind of a good thing when you're not reporting every single day on guys being hurt. I guess we don't really have to report on IKF anymore because he's no longer part of the organization. Hopefully he's getting better, but we're not reporting on it.
No, the only injury, and it's not even really an injury, it's just a hurt arm, a little bit of a bruise to our knowledge, is Alejandro Kirk, who was hit in the arm yesterday, left the game. Brian Servin came in, and then Servin, I believe, with a scheduled start today anyway. So
did you hear anything from John Schneider about it?
I did not.
Okay.
And unfortunately, while we gave the injury report, bplawyers.ca, it's 4 straight balls to issued by Yerry Rodriguez to Ryan Mountcastle. So he takes the free pass down to first, and it brings up Cedric Mullins with 1 on and 1 out. Mullins, a walk, a single, and a stolen base in this game. First pitch looked like it was pretty decent on the bottom part of the zone, but not according to Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire.
Well, I think the main culprit there was Brian Servin. He kind of botched that ball. That was actually a pretty good pitch at the bottom of the strike zone. A good fastball from Rodriguez.
And the 1-0 inside. It's now 2-0.
Yerry Rodriguez this season, in 12 games in Texas, he has a 6.88 ERA in 17 innings. And with Toronto, just the 1 game, he gave up 3 earned runs and 5 hits in an inning and 2/3.
2-1. The fastball clocked at 96 came in on Mullins. So a nice pitch there from Rodriguez. Mountcastle with the lead at first. The 2-1 pitch outside. It's now 3-1.
He has struggled a bit this season with the command. No walks in his lone Toronto outing, but 11 in 17 innings with Texas this season.
The 3-1 pitch down low, and now back-to-back back-to-back walks.
Well, no walks up until this inning.
Yeah. Trying to make up for lost time. 2 on now with just 1 out. Baltimore scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and then went scoreless for the first time last inning, but they are threatening to get back on track here in this 5th inning with, again, just 1 down, as Jordan Westberg will come up. He's 0 for 2 this afternoon. Yerry Rodriguez looks out at second. Here's the first pitch to Westberg, and a nice looking fastball right there, clocked at 96, 0-1. And the next pitch comes inside and off the hand of Jordan Westburg. Hit by pitch, and he's feeling that right now in the right hand. He runs down to first, and that's a scary situation for Jordan Westburg. Unfortunately for the Blue Jays, Brian Serven was set up outside, way outside, and that pitch came flying inside on a fastball at 95 that goes off the right hand of Westburg. So it's bases loaded, but now if you're Baltimore, you're concerned about your third baseman.
Yeah, Orioles manager Brandon Hyde immediately came out of the dugout. Obviously no intent with that fastball there. Just a running fastball that kind of got Westburg on the right hand. You hope that nothing is seriously injured there. That's a sensitive area. But Brandon Hyde immediately came out of the dugout, obviously concerned for his third baseman. But Yerry Rodriguez really struggling with his command right now. 2 walks and a hits batter, which is disappointing because he got a quick first out in this bottom of the 5th inning. And now you have the bases loaded and just 1 out.
Ryan O'Hearn with that fly out to left field to start the inning. But then, yep, a base on balls to Ryan Mountcastle. Another walk issued to Cedric Mullins. And now a hit by pitch, Jordan Westburg. So the bases will be juiced for the youngster Jackson Holliday. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game, has grounded out to first and grounded out to second, and certainly in a big position right now with the bases loaded and only 1 out.
I'll tell you what, this is a big situation not only for the Blue Jays and Yerry Rodriguez, but this is a big spot for Jackson Holliday as well.
Absolutely. And the first pitch in for a strike, the slider at 85, 0-1. Holliday with just 1 run batted in his major league career and still in search of that first home run, batting .056, but what a spot this could be. The 0-1 pitch. It's up high. He swings at it, fouls it off, and now he's quickly down 0-2.
And now you're ahead in the count 0-2. You have to expand on Jackson Holliday. You have to expect him to be a little bit antsy in this situation, susceptible to that fastball out of the strike zone, maybe an off-speed pitch below it, but you can't throw anything that's hittable in this situation here. Ahead 0-2.
Rodriguez, Yerry Rodriguez, turns, fires. The 0-2 pitch is skied to right field, and it's up and out of the building. A grand slam for Jackson Holliday, his first career home run, and he does so in a big-time way. 8-3 Baltimore as Jackson Holliday hits a grand slam 439 feet.
Well, he just showed his power there. Like I said, it's an 0-2 count. You have to expand. You have to potentially bury that slider, but Yerry Rodriguez left that slider middle. An incredibly hittable pitch in an 0-2 count, and Jackson Holliday made him pay with a grand slam, and now the Baltimore Orioles lead 8-3 in the bottom of the 5th.
And the fans in Baltimore are fired up, and rightfully so. And now James McCann steps up and sends one into center field to the wall. Varsho couldn't get to it. The fans are still going bananas for Jackson Holliday as the inning continues with just 1 out, and now McCann at second as Yerry Rodriguez is unfortunately getting lit up right now.
Well, Jackson Holliday just came out of the dugout for a curtain call. Obviously, Orioles fans have been waiting for this moment probably for a couple of years now after the Orioles drafted him first overall and signed him to almost $9 million. Big moment for him.
To the top of the order we go. Colton Cowser. And a first pitch to Cowser, a fastball at 94. Good for a strike. And now Cowser sends one down the right field line. Foul. And he's down 0-2. Cowser with a solo shot back in the second inning. He would love to get in on the action right now with Baltimore putting together a pretty big fifth inning. 4 in, 1 on in scoring position. McCann out at second. He got the double following the Jackson Holiday grand slam, and Cowser just struck out, so there's 2 away.
And that's what they were trying to do with Jackson Holiday, that 0-2 slider down almost below the strike zone, back foot it. But they just left it over the middle for Jackson Holiday. That's a pretty swing. You can tell why they drafted him #1 overall, why there's been so much hype surrounding him. But he's also got the pedigree, the genes. His dad, obviously Matt Holiday, one of the best to ever do it.
And on the first pitch, Anthony Santander slaps one into center field, and coming around to score is James McCann. So the Orioles cash in another one and now lead 9-3. A base hit RBI single for Anthony Santander.
Well, Yuri Rodriguez has now given up 5 runs in this inning. The Orioles lead 9-3. He's thrown 26 pitches in this inning. I believe that the Blue Jays are just going to let him wear it and hopefully get out of this inning at some point. You got to think they want to save that bullpen out there.
It's an off day tomorrow for the Blue Jays before that weekend set against the Yankees Friday, Saturday, Sunday in New York. First pitch, the fastball is good against Gunnar Henderson. And he swings at the second pitch. Now down 0-2. Couldn't catch up with that changeup. Santander at first. Henderson at the plate, working on a 1-for-2 day. He's already got a triple and 2 runs scored. Would love to keep this inning going for Baltimore. Rodriguez now steps off the rubber. And he will get reset. Ryan Burr warming up in the Blue Jay bullpen. Rodriguez comes with the 0-2 pitch to Henderson, way high, clocked at 96. It's 1-2.
What do you think about Jackson Holiday now? You changed your opinion on him?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I was in Baltimore, I'd buy a ticket for him. Gunnar Henderson fouls off the 1-2. We'll do it again.
All it takes is one swing. One swing.
No, all I said, listen, I wasn't.
You're easy, man. Holy cow.
I wasn't ripping the guy or anything earlier. I just said I would not be buying a ticket to go see him for this game. Or more so specifically, next week, I wouldn't be saying I got to go see Jackson Holiday. But there's no doubt it's a beautiful swing and an incredible moment. How can you go wrong with a grand slam on your first career home run? Yuri Rodriguez just struck out Gunnar Henderson. So he finally gets out of the inning. But Baltimore had 4 coming into the frame. They score 5 in the 5th. And they have now busted this game open with a 9-3 lead as we head to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall, For the strong boots to climb, I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer started right, coming in, leaps and makes the catch full stretch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 6th inning, we are underway, and the first pitch to Ernie Clement is in for a strike. Fastball clocked at 95. And now Clement fouls off the second pitch, a curveball, and quickly down 0-2. 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins is a big fan of small biz. That's why they awarded another $3 million to small business owners across the country. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. Clement with a ground ball out to short, picked up by Henderson over to first. Well in time to record the out, and there's one away.
Well, I mentioned last inning that Jackson Holliday is the son of former major leaguer Matt Holliday, and I kind of stretched it a little bit saying he's the best or one of the best to ever do it, but it's not that outlandish. He has a career batting average of .299, 316 home runs. Not bad.
That's one of. Just depends on how.
One of.
It just depends on how big the list is.
It's a long list.
One of. Listen, there's thousands of players that would sign up for those numbers.
Yeah.
So no doubt one of the best. Dalton Varsho steps in. And he gets quickly ahead in the count, 2-0, as the 1-0 just came in moments ago. The curveball missing. And now 3-0, a fastball high, as Varsho hopes to get on base for the first time in this game. He's 0 for 2. And the Blue Jays would like to get something going here after they just gave up 5 runs in the 5th inning to the Orioles. And he sends this one into right field, and it's going to drop foul. Swinging at the 3-0 pitch, Varsho missed what would have been at least a double by about probably 5 feet. So not that close down the line.
Matt Holliday also played his last game when he was 39 years old. So if Jackson Holliday has a career like that, he'll play 19 years in the big leagues. It's a long time.
The 3-1 pitch fouled up and over the backstop. It's now 3-2 to Varsho. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. The main one we're keeping our eyes on. The Yankees now lead the Phillies 6-3 in the top of the 6th. And again, that matters big time considering Baltimore with just a half-game lead on the Yankees for first in the American League East. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Varsho. And it came inside. He fouls it off. Got a piece of that changeup. We'll do it again at 3-2.
If you ended your career batting .299, would you be upset?
No. Because you know how much money I made?
That's true, I guess.
And the 3-2 pitch just missing inside on a fastball. And Varsho is on base thanks to the walk. Tell you the other thing, what happens if you go up at .299 because you want to finish the career at 300? And what do you miss? And then it drops to maybe .298, or does it stay at $299? Just take your $299 and go home.
Just take your $299 and $200 million and go home.
Exactly. This really doesn't have anything to do with what we were talking about when you talk about $299 or the Baltimore Orioles or the Toronto Blue Jays for that matter. But I just marvel every time I look at the numbers. Like, and again, I'm a fan. That's why I wear number 19. When I look at the career numbers of Tony Gwynn, one of the greatest hitters ever, if not the greatest hitter ever, it's just mind-boggling to think what he did at the professional level, and the low number of strikeouts as well. So when you talk about great hitters, it's just throwing appreciation out to anybody and everybody. Davis Schneider on the 0-2 pitch just chased an outside slider, strikes out. Speaking of strikeouts.
Well, Tony Gwynn, of course, is nearing the top of that list.
100%.
Matt Holliday is probably at the bottom-ish of that greatest ever
We don't know how
list.
big the list is, right? We don't know how big that list is. But yes, Tony Gwynn would be in any list, no matter the size, among the top.
Tony Gwynn's career average was .338.
That's insane.
It is very insane.
Addison Barger stepping in, a 2-for-2 day for Barger. His average up to 200 now. He had the solo shot earlier in this game. And it looked like the Blue Jays were starting to mount a comeback. They had cut the Baltimore lead to 4-3, but the Orioles just got 5 runs in the last inning to now lead 9-3. Here in the top of the 6th, Barger now with a 2-1 count. I'm going to screw this up. I should probably not say it.
Don't do it.
No, I'm going to say it anyway. I'll again verify, double check the Google machine in a couple of minutes. The 2-1 pitch in for a strike on the outside edge. The changeup is good. It's 2-2. It was like something I saw on Instagram or something recently where against John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, and I don't remember who else. Tom Glavine, I believe. I think it was 1 career strikeout for Tony Gwynn against those 3 guys. Like, it's just completely bonkers. The success he had a bit against some of the all-time great pitchers, let alone the lack of success those guys had in sitting down Tony Gwynn. Addison Barger. A full count. And a pitch outside. Another free pass issued. So Varsho was taking off. He was at first thanks to a walk, but he'll now be at second either way as he's bumped up due to the Barger walk. And now 2 on with 2 out for Brian Serven, the number 9 hitter in the Blue Jay lineup.
I'll give you the quick numbers right now.
Go for it.
9,288 career at-bats in his 20-year career.
Tony Gwynn we're talking.
Tony Gwynn, not Matt Holliday.
Yes.
Can you guess how many strikeouts he has in those 9,288 ABs?
Listen, I know the number is.
You know what's even
beyond
more bonkers is his season average of strikeouts in those 20 years.
Yeah, the number is so ridiculously low. Like, I don't even want to guess. I just know that it's crazy, crazy low. The dude never struck out. Wow. Rodriguez just threw behind Serven. That pitch got away. And it allows the runners, both of the runners for Toronto, to move up. So now the Blue Jays have second and third.
Yeah, and,
with 2 away.
And there was no intent with that pitch. That was a breaking ball that just kind of got away from Rodriguez. Luckily, didn't hit Brian Serven.
It was a slider at 83, and Serven just sort of ducked, stayed in the box, and had that pitch sail over his helmet. The next one comes a little bit inside on the fastball clocked at 97.
All right, very quickly to put a pin in this. 434 career strikeouts, almost 10,000 ABs. You want to know what his average was per season? 29 strikeouts.
Serven sends one out to short, and it is bobbled uncharacteristically by Gunnar Henderson, which allows Dalton Varsho to score. And moving up to third is Addison Barger. That should have been the 3rd out of the inning. Gunnar Henderson came in on a ball that was not hit that hard by Brian Serven, and he bobbled it on the exchange from the glove to the hand. And that allows the inning to continue for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, you're right. Kind of the rare miscue from Gunnar Henderson over there. He's pretty sure-handed at shortstop. Just didn't quite come up with that baseball cleanly, and normally a very routine play for him.
Which brings up the top of the order now for the Blue Jays. George Springer will hit for the 2nd straight inning. He doubled to lead off the 5th inning. So there's still a ways to go. Toronto trailing by 5, 9-4, but every little bit counts right now. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you in the Timber Mart broadcast booth in the top of the 6th inning.
But how big is that grand slam from Jackson Holliday now?
Yeah, we'd be talking about potentially a tied game right now, assuming that the Jays didn't give up anything. That might be a big assumption, though, because they have not had the most special game.
Queen of innings.
I was trying to find the words, because otherwise I was going to say something really bad. They gave up 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 5 in the fifth. Their only clean inning, the fourth, where they still sent 5 men to the plate for Baltimore, but the Orioles came up with nothing that inning. The only inning in which they haven't scored. And now George Springer looks at a first pitch curveball catching the bottom part of the outside edge of the zone, and he's down 0-1.
And if you're thinking, why is Yuri Rodriguez in this ball game? A tight game, high leverage, you're only down by 1 run. They don't really have anybody else. Nate Pearson's gone. Jimmy Garcia's gone. Jordan Romano's hurt. Who else are you bringing in that ball game? Trevor Richards is gone. Who else are you bringing in? Nobody, really.
Well, there's one name, but he's sitting beside me. 9-4.
I'm actually standing beside you.
That's true. Making me nervous. Springer now ahead in the count, 2-1. Runners on the corners for the Blue Jays. Rodriguez with the pitch to Springer, and that one looked low, and George is not happy about it. He is barking, and rightfully so. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire, just gave the strike to Grayson Rodriguez. John Schneider with a few words from the dugout as well. And now a 2-2 pitch coming to George Springer. And Springer gives it a ride out to right field, but not enough. And he slams his bat down on the ground. He's still upset about that strike call moments ago. And that will do it for the Blue Jays. As they only get one, they trail 9-4 heading to the bottom of the sixth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Get in the flow with the channel of unforgettable R&B from back when Beyonce went solo, through Drake's unstoppable rise. That's why I need a one dance. To when SZA dropped Control. I just keep him satisfied through the weekend. Feel the energy and emotion of 2000s and 2010s R&B in the flow. Channel 48 and on the SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Welcome back. Getting set to start the bottom half of the sixth inning. Blue Jays trailing the Orioles 9-4. Baltimore with 8 hits, 9 runs. Toronto with 6 hits, 4 runs. And the Blue Jays have scored in 4 straight innings, yet still trail by 5. Ryan Burr now into the ball game for Toronto. And the first pitch is in for a strike, a swinging strike to Ryan O'Hearn. 0-1 count. And he slaps out the second one, sends it foul down the left field side, and quickly down 0-2.
I know hindsight's 20/20, but this is probably the guy that I would have brought in instead of Yuri Rodriguez. Ryan Burr has shown that he can pitch in these high leverage situations. And he does have the good stuff, the mid-90s fastball, the good slider, able to get these tough Orioles hitters out. But again, I know hindsight's 20/20, and John Schneider really doesn't have much to choose from.
Now 2-2 in the count as Burr just missed down low with a slider. reaches down on the mound to grab the rosin bag and rubs his hand on his thigh. Gets set for the 2-2 delivery to Ryan O'Hearn. 0 for 2 in the ball game. And that 2-2 slap foul again as he got a piece of that slider. We'll do it again. Bottom of the 6th inning with Baltimore leading 9-4. The 2-2 looked pretty good. Right down the heart of the plate. Looked like it caught the bottom part of the zone, and it's called a ball. And now more chatter from the Blue Jay dugout. And understandably so, Adrian Johnson looks over and says a few words at John Schneider. And I'm sure it's, wait a second, you called a pretty brutal pitch a strike against my guy Springer, and now my guy Burr can't get the call on that one?
Well, you have to agree with John Schneider. That was a very easy call if you're Adrian Johnson. It's a strike 3 on Ryan O'Hearn.
The count now full. It'll be the 8th pitch of this at bat right here for Ryan O'Hearn, still the leadoff man in the 6th inning, and he chased one down in the dirt. A nasty slider from Burr and a strikeout to start off this 6th.
Well, luckily Ryan O'Hearn swung at that pitch. That was a slider that bounced in front of home plate. Actually not in front, a little bit behind, but still a pitch that you probably shouldn't swing at. Ryan Burr getting a little bit of help there from O'Hearn, but should have struck him out a couple pitches before that anyways.
And this brings up another Ryan Mountcastle fouling off the first pitch. Now down 0-1. He's got a triple in the ball game with a walk, a run, and 2 runs batted in.
A lot of Ryans in this ball game. Ryan O'Hearn, Ryan Mountcastle, Ryan Burr. Who else?
I think that's it. Shout out to Ryan Fabro. The 0-1 is fouled off by Mountcastle, and he's now down 0-2. And he just chased another one. Another nasty slider from Burr. Back-to-back strikeouts. And there's 2 away.
And like I said earlier, Ryan Burr's got that good slider, the mid-90s fastball. He's shown that he can pitch in big situations. This situation here, pretty low leverage, down by 5 runs, but he's a guy that I would keep my eye on if I was Ross Atkins, if I was John Schneider. Got good stuff.
Now dealing with Cedric Mullins, the first pitch high on a fastball, clocked at 95 and a 1-0 count. Can we just go back to the 5th inning then and just pretend that didn't happen and bring in Ryan Burr? No disrespect to Yuri Rodriguez. 9-4 Baltimore leads, thanks in large part to the 5-run 5th inning they had, and 4 of those 5 runs came off the bat of youngster Jackson Holliday, who got his first career home run on a grand slam that ripped this game open. Burr now trailing to Cedric Mullins 2-0 as he misses on another fastball. And this time came back with a slider. That went too high, and after back-to-back strikeouts, he's now trailing in the count 3-0 to Cedric Mullins.
And that was an incredible moment, not only for Jackson Holliday, but for the fans, the people watching. That was a great call from you.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled about that. Jackson, man, Eric Smith called my first career home run.
And the most beautiful thing about it was the standing ovation that the crowd gave him afterwards. You could see him kind of nervous to go out there, take the helmet off. He ran out to the top of the dugout, tipped his cap, and the crowd gave him that loud standing ovation. A pretty cool moment.
No doubt. So Mullins walked. He's on first, and immediately swinging at the first pitch is Ramon Urias into the ball game, and he sends a base hit to center. Plenty of time for Mullins, the speedster, to go first to third. It's now runners on the corners. So Urias came in for Westberg, Jordan Westberg, who was hit by a pitch back in the last inning, and now it brings up Jackson Holliday with 2 on and 2 out.
Well, I'll tell you what, the scouting report on Jackson Holliday right now, if you've watched this game, if you get ahead 0-2, Don't throw him a hanging, spinning slider right down the middle. How about that? If you get ahead 0-2, now John Schneider is going to come out and take a look with Jose Ministral. I think Ryan Burr might have done something to his back. It looks like he's talking about his lower back, squeezing his lower back, bending over. Not a good sign for an already thin bullpen.
And it looked like he was going to cruise in this inning after back-to-back strikeouts, but then the walk to Mullins and now the base hit for Urias. As Baltimore threatens to put more on the board, Burr now stepping off the mound and trying to stretch things out. He's going to stay in this ball game and try and get the Blue Jays out of this inning. Bottom of the 6th, with Baltimore leading by 5 on the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's into the 7th inning in Philadelphia, with the Yankees leading the Phillies 6-4. And there's a runner on first with Aaron Judge stepping into the box for the Yankees. Jackson Holliday for the Orioles with 2 on, 2 out. Takes a first pitch strike right down Main Street and an 0-1 count. Burr gets the sign from Servin. The pitch is sent opposite field by Holliday, and it's making its way toward the corner. It's off the top of the wall, and I believe it's foul by about a foot. It hit the top of the wall just to the left of that yellow painted marking on the wall, and it was that close to a second career home run for Jackson Holliday.
Look at the count. The count is 0-2. Do you think Ryan Burr has learned from Yerry Rodriguez's mistake? He missed a home run.
Not even, I said a foot. That might have been
foul ball. This is a crew chief review of that.
That might have been an inch or 2 at best.
So we're trying to see that slow motion replay. It's a little bit blurry, so it's hard to see if the ball hit that yellow line going up. And I think it might have. They might reverse this call. That might be a 3-run home run for Jackson Holliday. Look, the evidence isn't clear because, like I said, the slow motion replay is a little bit blurry, but New York probably has a little bit better angles than we have.
Well, ask that lady in the pink t-shirt out there.
You can hear the crowd reacting to the replay. I'm sure they want this to be Jackson Holliday's 2nd career home run.
And how about,
but it's very close.
How about 7 runs batted in if this actually ultimately is a home run? A grand slam and a 3-run shot, again, if the call is overturned.
You think that'll make up for the 2 for 34 that he started? 2 for 35 to start his career?
So it was called foul by the umpires. Everybody, well, not everybody, most of the people on the field and in the stands thought it was just foul as well, but the video evidence may say otherwise. We shall see. We are awaiting official word. It's coming right now. Or so I thought. It looked like.
After review, the call on the field stands. Foul ball.
There we go. I'm just glad I don't have to eat crow. It's always bad when you've got to call in any sport wrong. And again, I was only going by what the officials, what the referees were showing us and telling us. Foul ball. So I can only call what I'm told, what I see. And luckily, they and we were all correct. Narrowly missing a 3-run home run. And now he strikes out. And Ryan Burr ultimately ends up striking out the side. Ran into a little bit of trouble, but ultimately comes out clean. So it stays at 9-4, Baltimore leading as we go to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
George Springer takes his love for hockey seriously. It's even starting to show in his post-game press conferences.
All right, first.
Hey, George, big catch by Dalton there in the 8th.
You know, Varshy's a grinder.
Really felt like a team effort tonight.
26 guys. Takes all 26 guys. Yeah, bud, this one was a barn burner. Just tried to get the barrel on it, eh? Yeah, that was a beauty, eh? Those guys were chirping. They wanted to drop the mitts. Next.
Get down to Rogers Center on August 7th and get your George Springer replica hockey jersey presented by TD. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, I'll move them day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
That ball is gone. Third home run in 4 batters for the Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you, getting set to start the 7th inning. And the day is done for Grayson Rodriguez. 6 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. Walked 3, struck out 8. He started strong. Started to show a few dents in the armor as the game went on, but either way, he still leads the game with a 9-4 lead as Keegan Aiken comes in now, the lefty for Baltimore. And he will face a lefty in Joey Loperfido, the Blue Jay batter, to start this inning. Outside 1-0. And now Loperfido gets underneath one, sends it out into center field. Lots of room for Cedric Mullins to get underneath it, make the grab, and there's one away.
We haven't seen much from Joey Loperfido today, but I'll tell you this, his swing looks good. He has a very nice swing when you watch it. He's quick to the baseball, stays through the baseball, and that's really what you want to see. Not trying to do too much. That's what I like to see from hitters.
So now one away here in the 7th inning as Vladimir Guerrero steps in. The lefty on righty battle right here as Vladdy is 1 for 3 on the afternoon. He doubled back in the first inning. And the 1-0 pitch outside, now 2-0. Now 2-1 as Vladdy just swung through a fastball clocked at 95. Guerrero had his 70th RBI of the season in his last at-bat. At the time, that had pulled Toronto within 1 at 4-3, but then they gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning, and that's when Baltimore ripped this thing open to lead 9-4. Zach Pop now warming up in the Blue Jay bullpen. The 2-2 pitch to Guerrero, and he chops one to Henderson at short, who pooches it again as it bounces off his glove, and Vladdy will be safe at first.
That'll be a base hit. That was a harder play for Gunnar Henderson than that previous play, but I imagine they'll give that a base hit. Can't wait to see this one. At least for Vlad, I hope that's a base hit.
It took a couple of high hops, and as Henderson tried to scoop it, it was in his glove and then just slid on out. And Vladdy gets down to first safely. So 1 on for Spencer Horwitz.
The official ruling is official score rule pending. So we'll wait. We'll wait and see what the official scorer chooses to do with that one. But I think that's a single.
Horwitz 0 for 3 today. And he holds off on that fastball. Clocked at 94. It was high, and now ahead in the count, or back in the count, I should say. It's 1-2. He was down 0-2 trying to stay alive and showed some good patience right there. And fouls off the 1-2 straight back into the backstop. We'll do it again at 1-2. The average has now dipped down below 280 at 278 for Horwitz. The 1-2 pitch down low, again showing the patience, stayed off that one. The slider at 83. It's now 2-2. Blue Jays down 9-4, top of the 7th. On the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's still 6-4. New York leading Philadelphia in the bottom of the 7th. Horwitz sends another one foul down the first base side. So still battling here in this at-bat at 2-2. Well, against Keegan Aiken, it's the lefty on lefty battle right here. Aiken came in relief of Grayson Rodriguez in this inning. And Horwitz popped one up, but it's going to go up and over the backstop. A good 5-7 rows deep. So we'll do it again at 2-2. It'll be the 8th pitch of this at bat. The 2-2 fouled off again. And this was what Spencer Horwitz does. Oftentimes, he's shown a propensity for just extending at bats and making pitchers work. He's doing it again right now to Aiken. The 2-2, swing and a miss inside, and he sits down with the strikeout. There's 2 away.
That was a 9-pitch at bat against Keegan Aiken. A tough matchup, left on left. A guy who throws mid-90s, sneaks that fastball inside on Spencer Horwitz. But again, like you mentioned, he always has long at bats. He makes it tough on every single pitcher, regardless of whether it's a tough matchup or not. That last at bat, no different.
Brings up Ernie Clement, working on a 1-for-3 afternoon, hitting .267 on the season. And the 1-0 pitch is outside. It's now 2-0 to Clement. Guerrero with a slight lead at first. Clement pops one up, and it's toward the backstop. It's going to make its way into the stands about 5 rows deep. It's now a 2-1 count to Ernie.
I'm surprised you haven't given any Olympic updates with the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard.
I was trying to save that for show, but we haven't had a pitching change. It's hard to keep track of all of the Olympic happenings, good, bad, or otherwise. I think the big news, I guess, of the Olympic day, seeing as you bring it up, I'll see if I have time to do this. The 2-1 pitch to Clement, and he sends this one into center field, and it's an easy grab for Cedric Mullins. So we're not getting an Olympic update, maybe later, as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and Zach Pop is going to come into the game for the Blue Jays. Baltimore leads 9-4. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza Pizza's big hitter, Fixed Rate Pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Blue Jays and the Orioles matchup. Please make sure to hit that like button down below. Exit out of that chat. Make sure that like button has been hit so we can get more Blue Jays fans here in the chat. We've been sitting around 40 to 50 to 60 likes every game. We got to break that trend. We've got to get this going. Tonight's goal, 75. Let's make it happen, team. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Blue Jays, go.
My way. on The Bachelorette.
Jen is truly a woman of a man's dreams.
I just feel so hopeful.
But finding the one...
I'm falling for you, and I'm not afraid to say it.
What could go wrong?
...will be easier said than done.
This is all a show to you, bro. You stand no chance.
Do you think you're ready for an engagement? I just don't want to choose the wrong person again.
The Bachelorette. All new Mondays 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Marshall smashes the ball to right field. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Bottom of the 7th inning. Baltimore leading Toronto 9-4 as we get set to get things rolling here in the bottom of the 7th. As Zach Pop is into the game for the Blue Jays. All right, you were asking for an Olympic update. The appeal from the Canadian women's soccer team was denied in terms of the whole 6 points and whatnot.
Was that surprising?
No, I don't think so. Heck, I think they would have loved to have kicked Canada out of the Olympics altogether if they could. But Canada still has a chance to move on in the Olympic Games and advance to the quarters, playing, I believe, against Colombia today. So it's still an opportunity for the Canadians.
And do you know what they need in terms of score?
They got to win.
Just a straight win. That's
to my
it.
knowledge, they got to win, period. Stuart Burrow is now into the ball game, by the way, for the Blue Jays, as Zach Pop now just threw it in the dirt on the 1-1. And Tom Young in my ear saying that the Canadian women, the game starts at 3 o'clock, so in about 10 minutes time. James McCann with a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch from Pop way outside. It's now 3-1.
And James McCann, of course, still with that face guard. Looks almost exactly like you would see in an NBA game.
And McCann just dribbled one off the end of his bat straight back to the pitcher, picked up by Pop, tosses it over to Horowitz at first, and there's one away. McCann throwing his bat down into the ground in frustration. By the way, I mentioned Stuart Burrow coming into the game. He replaces Dalton Varsho out in center field.
And Craig Kimbrell is now warming up in the Orioles bullpen out in left center. It'll be tough for the Blue Jays to get 5 runs against that Orioles bullpen, that's for sure. Craig Kimbrell, Yenier Cano. Tough guys that you don't want to see at the end of a ball game.
Colton Cowser, top of the order now for Baltimore with 1 out. He's down on the count 0-1. The second pitch coming from Pop inside, now even 1-1. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you in the Timber Mart broadcast booth in the bottom of the 7th inning with Baltimore leading by 5. The 1-1 pitch to Cowser is down low, but he swings at it. And Pop got him with the slider. It's now 1-2. Pop looks in at the sign from Brian Serven. Nobody on, 1 away. Count sits at 1-2. The leg kick and the delivery, and it's sent into right field. One bounce into the glove of Springer. It's a base hit for Colton Cowser.
Well, I'll tell you what, Colton Cowser has looked very good in this series. Looks very comfortable in this at-bat. Takes that slider over the heart of the plate and just drills it into right field for a single in front of George Springer.
And that brings up Anthony Santander. 2 for 4 on the day. And now with a runner at first, the switch hitting Santander stays on that left side against the righty Zach Pop. First pitch outside, missed on the sinker. A 1-0 count.
Santander is 2 for 4 in the ball game, 2 singles. That average almost at 250 now at 249, still with those 32 homers.
And he fouls off the 1-0 pitch. It's now even at 1-1.
And my partner's telling me 31 homers.
Oh, hopefully it's not, you know, a premonition for you. We'll find out. If he hits a home run right here, you're buying a lottery ticket for us at the end of this ball game. The 1-1 pitch catches the inside edge. That sinker at 96. A nice one, well placed by Pop. And now ahead in the count, 1-2. And that pitch down low in the dirt, and a nice grab on a backhanded stab from Servin. And had to come up clean with that one, of course, with Cowser out at first. He stays there at first. The count now at 2-2. Baltimore leads 9-4, bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch from Pop. And Santander sends it out towards short, deep in the hole, kind of behind second base. Making the grab was Clement. He throws to first to get the out as Cowser moves up to second, but there's 2 away.
Well, that could have very easily been a double play, but Davis Schneider was shaded towards the right side of the infield, and Ernie Clement really had nobody to throw that ball to at second base, so he had to just throw across the diamond and get the out at first base. Colton Cowser now standing on second base.
It looks like Cowser, I don't know if when he slid in, if he did something, he's kind of favoring his arm or his wrist right now, as Gunnar Henderson swings at the first pitch, and sends a dribbler out into left field that gets past Ernie Clement. A real kind of lazy looking base hit, but don't ask how, just how many. And in terms of how many, it's 10 now. 10 runs for the Baltimore Orioles. An RBI single for Gunnar Henderson.
Well, that base hit was hit almost exactly where you would think a shortstop would play when the teams are playing straight up, but Ernie Clement was playing behind second base, so that weak ground ball just gets through. Colton Cowser comes around to score the 10th run of the ball game for the Baltimore Orioles.
And now Ryan O'Hearn swinging at the first pitch, fouls one off. He's down in the count 0-1. Pop back with the pitch inside, a little bit low. Missed with that cutter. It's now 1-1. Baltimore with a 6-run lead. 10-4 is the score. Here in the bottom of the 7th. O'Hearn staring down Pop right now. And that pitch high. It's now 2-1. O'Hearn looking for his first hit of the day. It's an 0 for 3 afternoon for him. He's about the only person that hasn't got in on the action for Baltimore. As he fouls off that pitch right there, it's now 2-2. Got a little bit of a piece of that sinker.
That's a tough break for Zach Pop, giving up that earned run there. Could have had that double play before, and then he gives up a weak ground ball. You just have to shake your head if you're Zach Pop, kind of wonder what he needs to do to get a clean inning.
The 2-2 down low inside, and now the count still sits at full to Ryan O'Hearn. Pop now has thrown 20 pitches in this 7th inning. And the 3-2 is fouled off. O'Hearn sends it down the first base side. We'll do it again at 3-2. I think that might have actually hit his foot as he kind of dances out of the box and reaches down to rub that foot.
I think he's actually repositioning his ankle guard. I think that ball hit off the ankle guard and moved it a little bit. Then he had to reposition it.
Bright sunny afternoon in Baltimore, with the Orioles putting up 10 on the Blue Jays. A good chunk of it coming off the grand slam from youngster Jackson Holliday. The 3-2 pitch is sent out to second base, picked up to Davis Schneider, over to first to record the out, to sit down the Orioles and Ryan O'Hearn. And that will do it in the inning. But Baltimore gets one more, and again they've pushed the lead to 10-4 as we go to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 2024 Training Camp Tour is here.
Focus on the football, fellas. Focus, focus.
And SiriusXM NFL Radio brings you down to the field for an all-access pass to your favorite team.
You do your best to put yourself in position to get the result you want.
Everything you need to get ready for the season, with updates on position battles and exclusive interviews from all 32 teams. Hear every stop of the 2024 Training Camp Tour on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
At Radio Network.
Getting set to start the 8th inning as the Blue Jays trail 10-4 to the Orioles. Toronto has scored in 4 of the last 5 innings, but Baltimore has scored in 5 of the 7 innings thus far, including a 5-run 5th inning as Craig Kimbrell comes into the ballgame now for Baltimore. In 43 games, a 3.46 ERA. As he stares in at the first batter of the inning, it's Stuart Baroa, who came into this game in place of Dalton Varsho.
Kimbrell hasn't been great over his last 7 games, a 9.45 ERA, 7 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings, but for the majority of his career, he's been one of the best to do it. And that list is short.
And he falls behind to Stuart Baroa. It's 2-0. Baroa batting from the left side. The 2-0 pitch down Main Street, good for a strike on the fastball, clocked at 93. It's 2-1. Now inside on another fastball, that one no good. And then Baroa 3-1 ahead in the count, looking to get on to lead off this 8th inning. Outside, and there is the free pass as Baroa will head on down to first. I said that Baroa came in for Varsho. To our knowledge, there's no issue with Varsho. Would this just be a case of a game that's kind of out of hand and give the veteran player a little bit of an early rest going into an off day with a busy weekend ahead? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, why not? He's played a lot over the last little while. Get him off his feet, get him sitting in that dugout, and like you said, there's an off day tomorrow, so maybe just lengthen the time off just a little bit.
First pitch to Davis Schneider is way outside as Kimbrell misses, and it's 1-0 to Schneider.
And then why not get your guy Stuart Baroa in the ballgame?
SB. Stewie B. I'm trying to find out. We're going to have to maybe ask him down at Rogers Center at some point if Joey Loperfido, if anybody calls him J-Lo.
Probably. I'll find out for you right now.
1-1 count now to Schneider as he fouls off the second pitch from Kimbrell. And the 1-1 goes down Main Street, the fastball at 93. Schneider thought about it for a moment and then pulled back, or at least maybe just simply couldn't pull the trigger. And it's now 1-2. missing just outside. Kimbrel wanted that call on the fastball at 94. So did the Orioles fans. It's now 2-2.
And if you go to MLB.com or Baseball Reference, all those baseball websites that give you a ton of information, usually you'll see the nickname there if somebody has one.
And that pitch from Kimbrel down in the dirt. Schneider now full at 3-2.
And there's all kinds of info on Joey Loperfido. He's from Philadelphia. He was a 7th-round pick. He went to Duke. He was born in 1999. Unfortunately, no nickname.
All right. We're going to have to ask him that. Schneider just got underneath the 3-2 pitch, launched one out to left field, but not very deep, and camping under it to make the grab is Colton Cowser, and there's one away. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Addison Barger steps in. 2 for 2 on the day for Addison. And he's got a man on right now in Stuart Burroa, who's still out at first, and Burroa with the speed. I'm surprised we haven't seen him try to take off yet. Do you think he might do so on this at bat?
He might, but you're down by 6. You have to be smart here. You don't want to get an out on the base pass. I would imagine he stays put at first base there, but I guess you never know, especially with the speed of Stuart Burroa.
Barger now 1-1. Second pitch was a ball missing moments ago, and the knuckle curve was Kimbrel. And the 1-1 pitch outside down low. It's now 2-1. Barger, the lefty, looks in at Kimbrel. The 2-1 pitch, and he rips one down on the right field side. It ricochets off the wall into right field. The ball girl goes out to grab that one and then gets set to toss it to a young fan. It's now 2-2. Mountcastle is holding on. Burroa at first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's down low in the dirt. Nice patience there as Barger holds off on it. And another full count for the Blue Jays. On the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill, Philadelphia has just cut the Yankees lead to 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th. For the Yankees clinging to a 1-run lead, Philly still at bat in that 8th inning. The 3-2 pitch to Barger catches the outside edge. Barger thought it was a ball. He's not happy about it. We'll see if Schneider has anything to say about it. John, that is, as there is now 2 away here in the 8th.
I mean, you think that was a ball? That was about as perfect as it gets. A pitcher's pitch down and away with that good slider, just catching the corner of that strike box. Great pitch from Craig Kimbrel.
So Barger sits down for the first time today, and it brings up Brian Serven, the number 9 hitter. The Blue Jay catcher batting .053 on the season. He's 0 for 3 this afternoon. And the 1-0 pitch is outside. It's 2-0. Down Main Street with the fastball. It's now 2-1. I bow to your knowledge of the game. I'm still surprised that Stuart Burroa has not at least attempted to take a base.
It's because it's the top of the 8th inning and they're down by 6. They just don't want to get thrown out. That's really the only reason.
That's part of the reason I want to see him take off, because I want to try to manufacture a run to try and put myself in a position to score. Because I'm down by 6, I might as well take some chances. But I think see if I can get a run.
I think the risk is greater than the reward.
Okay.
That's the only thing that you really have to think about in that situation, especially down by 6, top of the 8th inning.
2-2 to Serven. Swing and a miss. He sits down, and that will do it. So the Blue Jays strand Burroa at first, and they still trail 10-4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I was brought up in the front row, that fire and brimstone.
Eric Smith and Chris LaRue in the Timber Mart broadcast booth as we get set for the bottom of the 8th inning. Baltimore leading 10-4. As the Orioles are in a great position right now to take 3 of 4 against the Blue Jays in this series. Toronto came into Baltimore having won 3 straight with a weekend sweep over the Rangers. They lost the first game of the doubleheader, bounced back to win the second, but then lost last night, and they're down 6 right now late in this ball game against the Orioles. Eric Swanson into the game to pitch for Toronto.
In his last game against Baltimore, he went 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and walked 1.
And the first pitch to Ryan Mountcastle is fouled off by Mountcastle.
Eric Swanson with a 1-2 record this season. Obviously, we know the struggles. We know that he's been pretty erratic for the majority of this season with an 8.10 ERA in those 20 games.
And Mountcastle called for a strike on the second pitch, now 0-2. That one down in the dirt on the 0-2. Swanson tried to get him to chase the splitter. It's now 1-2.
And Luis de los Santos, who has been added to the roster, is replacing George Springer in right field.
And if I'm not mistaken, just to be clear, I'll give it to you in a second, the 1-2 pitch, it's chopped up the middle, picked up at second by Davis Schneider on to first for the outs. There's one away. I believe De Los Santos is now at third, and Barger has moved from third out to right field.
Correct.
So he's into the game for Springer, but we have a defensive change or shift with Barger now moving out to right field.
They're just trying to make it difficult for you.
Yeah, they're doing their best.
John Schneider is just messing with you.
I'm sure that's exactly what he's thinking. Let's see if we can screw up that Smith guy. 1 out here, bottom of the 8th. As Cedric Mullins comes in now. Mullins 1 for 1 today. He's got a single and 3 walks. He's ahead in the count right now, 1-0. And now 1-1 as he swings through a fastball clocked at 95. Swanson with the 1-1 pitch up high. Servant tried to pull it down, but that was easily a ball. Now 2-1.
Speaking of Smith, Birch Smith is now warming up in that Orioles bullpen out in left center.
No relation. There's only a few Smiths out there. The 2-1 pitch comes inside, catches that inside edge on the fastball. It's now 2-2. Mullins sends one off the end of his bat out to third base, and De Los Santos had been pushed almost towards short with the Blue Jays kind of shifting that infield, and there was no chance for him to get to that ball to get to Mullins before he got to first. So it's an infield single for Cedric Mullins.
Yeah, De Los Santos, who was playing third base, was playing probably where the shortstop would normally play. He had no chance at that little dribbler off the bat of Cedric Mullins. That's a tough play for De Los Santos. More importantly, a tough single for Eric Swanson to give up. A good pitch and a bad swing, but ending up with a single of Cedric Mullins.
It brings up Ramon Urias, who stepped into the ball game in place of Jordan Westberg and promptly got a base hit in his first and only at bat of this game, and trying to look for more right now with Mullins at first. And of course, he is a threat on the base paths. A potential stolen base looming for Cedric Mullins. The 1-1 count. Here's the pitch from Swanson, and it's up high, but a nice slider, and Urias swings through it, and now he's down on the count 1-2. Swanson with a quick look over to first to Mullins, and now comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Another one up high on the fastball. Urias didn't chase it this time. It's 2-2.
I'll tell you what, Eric Swanson's fastball is starting to creep up a little bit. In his last outing, we even saw 97 from him. That last fastball above the strike zone was 95.
The 2-2 pitch outside again at 95. It's 3-2. By the way, the Canadian senior national team, the women in Olympic soccer, underway about 15 minutes into their game against Colombia, and there's no score. The women can advance to the quarterfinals with a victory. Swanson just missed inside. The splitter got away from him. It came in way high, and it's a ball either way, and it's a free pass for Urias. Now first and second with one away here in the 8th.
I guess another question I have is, can the Canadian team advance with a tie?
I think they have to win.
They have to win.
Because of the fact that they're getting 6 points deducted, they have to win outright.
But if that didn't happen, they would probably go on with a tie. Or even a loss at this point.
I believe so. But it's all a moot point. They got to get the win.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Jackson Holliday swinging at the first pitch, fouls it off. Holliday with his first career home run back in the 5th inning, a grand slam, and then he nearly hit a second home run in his last at bat, which would have given him 7 runs batted in on the day, but he missed a home run by literally about an inch, if that. He's down in the count 0-1 with 2 on, 1 out, and a nice pitch from Swanson, but unfortunately he doesn't get the call from Adrian Johnson on a pitch that looked like it caught the upper part of the zone. It's now 1-1. And that one fouled off into the backstop, into the netting. It's now 1-2.
And if you weren't with us, that last at bat of Jackson Holliday, the one when he struck out, there was actually a crew chief review on that foul ball home run that he hit, and they ultimately deemed it to be, yes, a foul ball. But that just shows how close that was to being his second home run of the game.
The 1-2 pitch, and he sends this one into left field, but back to make the grab is Joey Loperfido, about 5 feet in front of the track. It's a long fly ball, and there's 2 away. So James McCann gets set to step in now with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th inning. Baltimore leading 10-4. The first pitch to McCann, inside and pretty high, and he had to contort and duck out of the way. He's not happy about that one, as he steps out of the box and kind of stares down Swanson for a second and gets set to come back in.
But again, no intent there. That was a slider that just kind of jumped out of the hand of Eric Swanson and spun past the head of James McCann. Probably not very comfortable, though, if you're McCann.
The 1-0 fouled off by McCann. It's now 1-1. Swanson gets the sign from Servin. Looks out at second base. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Down low, outside. The slider, no good. It's 2-1. Another look out at second. Turning, firing on the 2-1 pitch. And that one caught the outside edge. Nice looking slider there. It's now 2-2. As Chris noted earlier, it looks like Birch Smith's going to come into this ball game in the 9th inning whenever we get there. Now 3-2 as Swanson missed high and outside on the fastball. It's a full count to James McCann. Colton Cowser sitting on deck at the top of the order for the Orioles. The 3-2 and a check swing foul by McCann. We'll do it again at 3-2. McCann steps out of the box for a moment, steps back in, digs the feet in, stares down at Swanson, who looks out at second, and now steps off the rubber, and now steps completely off the mound to take a breath, gather himself, and get set to face McCann. Big pitch right here as the Blue Jays want to get out of the inning. And McCann chops it down to third, and it's picked up by De Los Santos, who walks over to third, steps on the bag and records the out, and that will do it in the 8th. So the Jays get out of the 8th inning unscathed, but it is still 10-4 Baltimore. Put your rally caps on in the 9th for the Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
After 10 years, Billy Joel's residency at Madison Square Garden has come to an end. Feel the energy and emotion of the final concert, and hear every magic moment, playing throughout the week exclusively on the Billy Joel channel. The final residency concert premieres today, 5 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. SiriusXM, Channel 79, and on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Nothing matches the passion, the excitement, the history-making moments of college sports. And nobody takes you inside the greatest campuses and stadiums across the country like SiriusXM College Sports Radio. Listen to all of the play-by-play action, expert analysis, and in-depth interviews with your favorite team. No matter the season, we have something for you. Your home for all things college sports is on SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you as we get set for the top of the 9th inning with the Blue Jays trailing 10-4. And Toronto with only 6 hits on the day. They have given up 12 hits to the Orioles. Birch Smith in to try and end things in this 9th inning. in 31 games, 3.89 ERA. And the first batter he will face, Luis De Los Santos, with his first career at bat. Swinging at the first pitch. And missing. It's an 0-1 count.
It's always fun to see somebody's first AB. Wasting no time against Birch Smith, swinging at that fastball.
The 0-1 pitch. And he sends it out to short. Picked up by Henderson. Over to first. And it's a ground out in the first at bat for Luis De Los Santos. There's one away here in the ninth.
Well, De Los Santos has seen 2 pitches. He swung at both of them. A good slider right there, down out of the zone. Gunnar Henderson scoops it up, vacuums that thing up, and throws a strike across the diamond.
It brings up Joey Loperfido in his Blue Jay debut. 0 for 4. He started the game with strikeouts in his first 2 at bats. He grounded it to first in the second and then flew it to center in his 4th. So a 5th at bat here for Loperfido. He's played well in left field. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to get it done at the plate. Looking to change that right here. Maybe end the day on a high note. The 1-0 pitch catches the inside edge from Birch Smith on a fastball at 95. And now it's 1-1.
He kind of reminds me of body type and stance a little bit of Christian Yelich.
I could see that. Unfortunately, he just got hosed on a bad call from Adrian Johnson. That thing was outside.
I wasn't going to say anything, but that was nowhere near to being a strike. Adrian Johnson's had a tough day.
The 1-2 pitch, and Loperfido smacks it foul straight back into the netting behind the plate. Stays at 1-2. Sorry, I cut you off on the Yelich comparison.
I'd love to see the umpire score after the game of Adrian Johnson. It's going to be a tough one.
Here's the 1-2 pitch coming to Loperfido. And he sends this one foul down the first base side. He fought off that sweeper that was coming inside. The left-handed bat of Loperfido against the righty Birch Smith. Toronto down 10-4 here in the top of the 9th inning. A ball game that's just shy of 3 hours right now. Here's the pitch from Smith. And he smacks a base hit into left field. And that's got to feel good for Joey Loperfido to get his first hit in a Blue Jay uniform.
That is a good-looking swing. A fastball down and away that was 96 miles an hour. He doesn't try to do too much with it, and he smoked it the other way. He might not have the power numbers and the numbers quite yet, but I think they're coming.
And Leo Jimenez sends one out quickly to second base. And it's flipped over to Gunnar Henderson at short for 1. But as they throw to first to try and get 2, not only was Jimenez hustling down the line, but I believe that Ryan Mountcastle was pulled off the bag a bit too. So he probably would have been safe either way. But a nice snag by Jackson Holliday. And then as he flipped it to Henderson at short, the Orioles were unable to turn the double play to end this game.
I would imagine that the Orioles are thinking about taking a look. I don't think they're going to, but I believe Ryan Mountcastle came off the bag. If he didn't come off the bag, Leo Jimenez would have been safe. Or sorry, would have been out.
And it looks like they are going to check it out.
All right. I'd love to see a little slow motion replay then. And it looks to me like Ryan Mountcastle did keep that toe on the bag as he was catching the baseball. I would imagine that this will be overturned, but
well, this might be the first time that we've disagreed. But I don't even want to put that officially on the record because you're never wrong. I mean, your record's been unbelievable. I think you're going to be right here.
The Baltimore Orioles are actually high-fiving each other. They're acting like this ball game is over, even though the challenge is still going on. Interesting.
But we're still waiting for the official word.
The thing that I don't love about those slow motion replays, they're always fuzzy. Why are they always fuzzy?
Yeah, with all the technology that exists. What happens to those things where we see people, like with traffic violations? When, if I can get nabbed for photo radar at 1:30 in the morning and then my license plate is super clear.
Here we go. I've heard this story a few times.
Then why can't they get this clear? Come on. By the way, photo radar, give me a break. The biggest cash grab going. Total cash grab by any municipality that's doing it. I digress. That'd be my political platform for the day.
I'm sure you're not the only one.
Oh, brutal.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. Runner is out.
There we go. And the LaRue percentage still sits at 100. I don't need review. I've got LaRue. And that ends the ball game. So it is a double play to close out the game as Jackson Holiday handled that hot shot, flipped it to Henderson, and they ultimately did get it to first in time with a nice stretch from Mountcastle to record the out. And again, the double play locks in the 10-4 victory for the Orioles as they take 3 of 4 against Toronto. And a big win for them to stay in first place in the American League East.
Well, you have to imagine that the biggest reason the Orioles won this game was the Jackson Holiday swing for his first home run, a grand slam. This kid's going to be something special.
We'll step aside from the break, come back, get set to wrap things up, and then take you to post-game coverage as you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Hey, Blue Jays fans, are you ready to hit a home run with your next roof? Introducing GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, designed to keep your roof looking and feeling like a winner, rain or shine. GAF is proud to be the official shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Visit homedepot.ca and search GAF to learn more about how GAF Timberline HDZ roofing shingles can elevate your home to the next level.
Yeah,
GAF, we protect what matters most.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100%.
What's up, insiders? I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to this amazing community. 32,398 insiders in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us every single Toronto sports game. This is the place to be. If you're a Toronto sports fan and there's a game on, we're live right here, hanging out, having a good time together. So, with that being said, make sure you've hit the like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and share this out to everybody you know that is a Toronto sports fan, and let's have some fun during these games. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Jays, go. Go Leafs, go. Go Argos, go. Go TFC, go. Go Toronto, go.
Perhaps as the Orioles showed why they are the top team in the American League East and one of the top teams in baseball.
Yeah, but you can't really overthink this game too much. You had Paulo Espino starting the game. He gave up 4 runs. And then you have Yeri Rodriguez. He came in and pitched 1 inning, giving up 5 earned runs to the Baltimore Orioles. He gave up that grand slam to Jackson Holiday. Those are 2 guys that more than likely you won't see much of down the stretch. Maybe more Yeri Rodriguez than Paulo Espino. So again, I wouldn't really overthink this game too much.
Well, and the Blue Jays now will have to sort of lick their wounds quickly, enjoy an off day tomorrow, and get set for the New York Yankees in the Big Apple on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before they then come back home for this same Baltimore team at Rogers Center next week. So this is certainly a tough stretch for the Blue Jays with 10 straight games against Baltimore and New York.
It's a really tough stretch. I think that I think it's an important stretch for a lot of the young players that are on this roster that are currently getting a chance to show what they can do. But it's also an exciting time for them. You have Spencer Horwitz, you have Leo Jimenez, you have Davis Schneider, you have Ernie Clement, all guys that will factor into this roster some way next year. They get to show what they can do now, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether things work out for them or not. It doesn't matter. They have these next 2 months, 2 straight months. The leash is incredibly long for these guys to show exactly what they can do, play every day. And again, going to the Bronx, have a nice time. It's always fun to play at Yankee Stadium.
So again, the Blue Jays lose to the Orioles 10-4. We will be back at it on Friday night when the Blue Jays again are in New York to face the Yankees. I'll actually be joined by Caleb Joseph for that broadcast. Chris LaRue taking well-deserved time off right now for at least the next few games. He will rejoin me next week on the broadcast as the Blue Jays road trip continues, thanks to producer and host Show Ali and technical director Tom Young. Post-game coverage is coming up next with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. Jays Talk starting in mere moments. You've been listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
The way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on. Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Jays. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 842. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 1:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the Minnesota Twins. Mets on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 857. Twins on Internet 856. 2:10 p.m. Milwaukee Brewers take on the Atlanta Braves. Brewers on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 855. Braves on Internet 841. 2:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Kansas City Royals. White Sox on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 845. Royals on Internet 851. 2:15 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Texas Rangers. Cardinals on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 865. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish Feed on Internet 870. 3:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Washington Nationals. Diamondbacks on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 840. Nationals on Internet 869. 4:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the Seattle Mariners. Red Sox on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 843. Mariners on Internet 864. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 846. Cubs on Internet 844. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Astros on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 850. Pirates on Internet 861. 8:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the LA Dodgers. Padres on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 862. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish Feed on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 871. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Colorado Rockies. Angels on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 852. Rockies on Internet 848. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the Oakland A's. Giants on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 863. A's on Internet 859. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Wednesday, July the 31st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 12:10 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the Miami Marlins. Rays on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 866. Marlins on Internet 854. 12:35 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the New York Yankees. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. Yankees on Internet 858. 12:35 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 842. Blue